Incredibly flexible when it comes to installation because there's no ductwork required. It's just one more way we're making your home totally comfortable.
Your local Carrier Heating and Cooling dealer will improve your home's comfort, air quality, and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find the expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Ladies, and you guys too, have you noticed visible signs of aging, those deep wrinkles, fine lines, and facial creases stealing your youthful glow? Sagging skin, crow's feet, and loss of facial contour are all natural effects of aging, but you no longer have to let them define your appearance. Introducing the New Skin Lift, the groundbreaking facelift led by Dr. Brian Scott. The advanced New Skin Lift addresses key signs of facial aging for women and men, restoring natural youthful contours. Whether it's replenishing volume lost over time or lifting the skin to smooth out those creases, the New Skin Lift can help you look 10 to 20 years younger with both surgical and non-surgical options. It's Hollywood's best-kept secret and now available to you. Get a free consultation and save $250 off your New Skin facelift. Schedule at newskinlift.com or 206-222-1225. Look 10 to 20 years younger and restore your youthful appearance with the New Skin facelift. newskinlift.com.
People matter isn't just a saying at Harnish Auto Family. It's how they do business. For over 40 years, they've built a stellar reputation on trust, respect, and great deals. Visit HarnishAutoFamily.com to find your next car. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump's agreed to cut some tariffs on the UK, and Britain will allow more access for American industry.
With UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer on the phone,
we've reached a breakthrough trade deal with the United Kingdom.
The president announced the deal.
With this deal, the UK joins the United States in affirming that reciprocity and fairness is an essential and vital principle.
Starmer says when it comes to defense, security, and intelligence sharing, there are no two closer countries.
And now we take this into new and important territory by adding trade and the economy.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
I'm Vicki Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. While the UK is celebrating a new trade deal with the U.S., European policymakers are doubling down on their threat to retaliate against the Trump tariffs if negotiations fail to get them reduced or eliminated, listing more than $100 billion worth of U.S.-made goods to be targeted.
Trump said today he's dropping Ed Martin, who defended January 6th rioters, as the pick for U.S. attorney in D.C. Catholic cardinals still behind closed doors deciding on the next pope. CBS News contributor John Allen says it could be boiling down to two favorites, the Vatican's Secretary of State and a cardinal from the Philippines.
They're shaping up as a yes or no to those top contenders. Now, if neither of those two men is able to cross that magic two-thirds threshold, 89 votes out of the 133 cardinals in the Sistine Chapel, the Cardinals are going to have to start turning to some of the B-list contenders, the guys who were considered possible but more long shots.
Well, CBS's Michael George has more on a key aviation plan to be announced today.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is expected to unveil a multi-billion-dollar plan today to overhaul the nation's air traffic control system. It comes after mass flight delays and cancellations at Newark Liberty International Airport due to a shortage of air traffic controllers and equipment problems, as well as recent crashes across the country. Duffy said he hopes the situation at Newark will improve by the summer.
Bill Gates says he's going to donate 99% of his remaining tech fortune to the Gates Foundation, worth about $107 billion. And he tells CBS Mornings the foundation will now close in 2045, earlier than planned.
By deciding to spend all this money in the next 20 years, we can get a lot more done.
The House has passed a Republican bill that would rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. It's not expected to pass the Senate. Wall Street, the Dow is up 550 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The UW takes action after damaging student protests. The story coming up, but first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. No major blocking problems, but you still have some heavy volumes out there. Travel times Everett to Seattle, 1 hour and 10 minutes, 15 longer than usual. Federal Way, 1 hour and 10 minutes longer than typical. Renton to Bellevue, 43, just a couple of minutes over. Construction has you slow on State Route 18 from the Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. And Chuckanut Drive in Skagit County, it's going to stay closed until July as crews work to remove debris from an April rock slide. Traffic brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Enjoy efficient new windows now and defer paying for them for 12 months with 0 down and 0 payments. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. The University of Washington takes action after this week's damaging student protests. The latest from KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomi-Bao.
Do not approach the police line.
Of more than 30 arrests made in Monday night's destructive protests at the University of Washington, 21 of them were students. They were suspended and banned from all UW campuses.
Violence is not ideal. I think they could have gotten a lot more done if they just occupied the building instead of starting fires.
UW students Odessa and Willa support the right to protest, but without the dumpster fires, shattered windows, and smashed equipment, which totaled up to $1 million in damages.
Tukwila police are searching for the person who opened fire at the South Center Mall just after 6 last night. Police said one person shot at another who was running away. They believe the two knew each other. No one was injured, and there have been no arrests. Contract talks expected today between the union that represents 150 workers who refuel aircraft at SeaTac and their company, Swissport. Employees want better pay and working conditions. They tell KIRO 7 TV they don't even have facilities to wash off jet fuel at the end of the day.
They don't stock toilet paper, hand towels, nothing.
Swissport says their contract offer is very competitive and that they have a contingency plan if workers strike. Governor Bob Ferguson signs a bill that aims to rein in rent hikes. More from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
The rent stabilization bill, as it is known, would cap rent increases at 7% plus inflation or 10%, whichever is lowest. Governor Bob Ferguson says housing affordability is top of mind for most Washingtonians.
I just heard that concern over and over and over again.
The bills also provide housing relief for veterans and the elderly and makes it easier to build more affordable housing. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Make it 9 consecutive series wins for the Mariners. They did it the hard way yesterday, clawing back from a 5-run deficit against the A's. Rowdy Tellez sparked the comeback in the 6th inning.
3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Final score 6-5. The M's improved to 22-14 and head back home for a weekend series against the Toronto Blue Jays. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the low 60s. It's 49 in downtown Seattle. I'm Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday, May 8th, here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Sun is shining. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. Hey, is $1 million the norm these days when it comes to homes in King County? And what about other parts of Western Washington? Coming up at 9:30, we're going to talk about the high cost of housing and what the governor is now going to sign into law to help renters here in our state. As always, we invite you to join us on our text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And if you like watching your news and talk, you can always watch us on YouTube.
Let's get to it. Ursula's top stories of the day brought to you by Batfitter Northwest.
The University of Washington has now suspended 21 students who vandalized and occupied the brand new engineering building as part of a pro-Palestine protest earlier this week. The activists were demanding that the university divest from Boeing because of the company's military contracts linked to the war in Gaza. Boeing donated $10 million to that building, which just did a soft launch in March. The company is also a major weapons supplier to Israel. The vandals trashed the walls, destroyed expensive equipment, glued doors shut, and shattered glass on Monday before police removed and arrested more than 30 people. This student tells KIRO 7 TV.
I probably agree with their message, but I think using violence and tactics is not really the best mode to do it. I think they could have gotten a lot more done if they just occupied the building instead of starting fires.
Now, before the building takeover, the group behind it brought up the attack on Israel on October 7th of 2023, calling it, quote, a heroic victory. That attack killed 1,200 Israelis and more than 250 people were taken hostage. University President Anna Marie Kause has condemned the violence by the protesters, saying that the university is not going to be intimidated by this sort of horrific behavior and will not engage in dialogue with any group using or condoning such destructive tactics. But Gee, as you know, the federal government has now launched an investigation to what it's calling anti-Semitic violence at UW. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says no institution that tolerates violence, harassment, or the open intimidation of Jewish students should expect to receive billions in taxpayer support.
This is why it's so important to be a leader and not a follower. Some of the words that my father would say to me every time he would drop me off at school was, are you a leader or a follower? I am bringing that up because of the, was it 30 or 32 total?
So there were more than 34 or 35 people arrested, but right now 31 have gone into court.
So of those, 21 of them are students, and students that have now been suspended from the school. And what I'm bringing up is this. Like that student said something that I said the last couple of days. Hey, the message and what you all are talking about, it's not like I all the way disagree with you, what you're talking about. It's how you went to go and be destructive in this whole thing. And I'm bringing this up because the 21 students, I bet you, this is another FAFO. These 21 students probably was like, I was just standing there. I didn't want to do any of that other stuff. And I bet you it's probably the agitators, somebody that was really about that life, that wanted to set things on fire, be destructive, do all this vandalism and all those things. And so now you have 21 students that probably just showed up. They were just there to protest, and now they're FAFO. Ursula.
Yeah, I think the university's response has been correct. And what so far I've seen, though, is that these cases have been referred as misdemeanors. And I mean, when you look at what they are alleged to have done, not only did they light fires in dumpsters, but they also caused major damage to the building and equipment inside it. This is according to the university. Police, I mean, they estimated $1 million. And there are some new machines in there that were damaged in the protest. Those alone were valued at over $100,000. So I hope it's not just a slap on the wrist. But yeah, I mean, you lose your message when you resort to this kind of violence and destruction. It just didn't need to happen. Bill Gates announcing today that he is donating 99% of his personal wealth to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation over the next 20 years. Today, that is estimated, his worth is estimated at nearly $110 billion.
I hope I'm still alive when we finish the 20 years, but I'll save a little bit to be able to buy hamburgers as much as I need.
On CBS Mornings, the Microsoft co-founder pointed out that the only one human disease that has ever been fully eradicated from Earth was smallpox back in 1980. And with federal funding for many health, foreign aid, and public assistance programs being slashed, Gates says over time the money is going to allow the foundation to spend an additional $200 billion to help end more preventable diseases like polio and malaria.
We should be going from 5 million children dying a year over the next 5 years to 4 million. And now with these cuts, if they're not reversed, we'll go to over 6 million dying. So instead of going down, we'll go back up.
The Gates Foundation, Gee, originally planned to shut down 2 decades after Gates' death, so his announcement today means he's moved up the timetable.
I love this for 3 reasons. I explained this on the Seattle Morning News, and I'll explain it again. One, what Bill Gates is doing is first he will right away, this will address healthcare, education, and poverty, something that across the world, especially here in the United States, is very important to address. And it is an opportunity where philanthropic efforts fill in the gaps where government cannot. Number two, this sets a powerful example in the philanthropic world and gives a message to other wealthy people to raise the standard, raise the expectations to be able to give. So it's telling everybody in that world, hey, we're going to need you more than ever. And the last thing is there's now a clear timeline with 20 years of spending. Because of that timeline, things will get prioritized on doing things. And I love this part of it because December 31st, 2045, that is the end. This amount of money, $200 billion, will get spent in the philanthropy world. Gotta love it.
Absolutely. And I got to just break in right now because we do have some breaking news. There is white smoke signaling that a new pope has been elected. This is the second day of papal conclave voting at the Sistine Chapel. And just right now, the breaking news is that there is a new pope that has been elected, and we will have more information coming up on CBS News coming up at 9:30. But that's
something about that lunch, because back in 2013, when they broke for lunch, when they went for lunch, when they came back, they talked about that's when they figured out Pope Francis would be the next person. So they went to lunch again. I don't know what they be serving at lunch, but every time they go to lunch, they come back say, "Whew, I'm tired."
Oh, I got some insight on that.
This feels like it has been really quick. This was fast.
Well, I think the longest it's taken this century is 3 days, but they serve them notoriously bland food. It's been described like what you would eat at a train station. So, maybe get a little motivation to get them out of there, get some real food, get some rest.
Yeah. 2013, after lunch. This time, after lunch. Now, I just want to know who it's going to be. Is it?
For the first time in history, fewer than half of those who are up for vote are going to be European. There's a chance that it could be a Filipino pope. There is a chance that it could be, as you mentioned, a black pope.
I didn't mention it.
Yeah.
I didn't mention it. I didn't mention it here on the show.
So there is a chance. So anyway, we'll get more information coming up at 9:31. Just one more thing that I wanted to mention about Bill Gates, though, because when you talk about philanthropic gifts and when you think of the greatest philanthropists in history, I mean, what are names that come up?
Well, this will be more. The only person that's scheduled to do this much is Warren Buffett,
right?
And Warren Buffett is coming in less than this. So as far as philanthropic world to do something like this, nobody has done this.
Exactly. I mean, you're thinking of Rockefeller or Carnegie, but I mean, Bill Gates is going to surpass all of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, this is huge news for sure.
And shout out to Seattle. I mean, Seattle is the birthplace of that man, right? The same Seattle that some of y'all say that y'all don't go to no more. Yeah, Seattle. Anyway.
Well, just days after a motorcyclist was killed after colliding with a car in Bellevue, the police department over there is now announcing a crackdown on speeding and street racing. Starting this weekend and through the end of the month, additional officers are going to be looking for those speeding drivers or people driving with cars that have modified mufflers to make them louder. And already, Bellevue officers have given out nearly 1,000 speeding tickets just between January and April, which is up from the 380 speeding tickets issued in the same time frame last year. Bellevue PD's traffic captain, Rob Spingler, tells King 5 News this is not just a money grab.
It's not to generate revenue. It's about changing behavior, and that's ultimately the way to do it. When the warnings don't change behavior, we have to kind of up our game a little bit.
And he says nearly 150 of this year's speeding tickets were given to drivers going 20 miles an hour over the limit.
It's not a movie out here. This is not Fast and the Furious. We need people to slow down. We need people to pay attention. We need people to really think about how their actions are going to hurt other people.
On Saturday, an 18-year-old motorcyclist died after a collision with a vehicle at an intersection along Northeast 8th and 116th, and police say that motorcyclist was speeding.
When you all hear emphasis and you hear Bellevue talking about they want to clamp down, it's giving warnings to everyone about speeding, do you roll your eyes or do you say, good, we need that? Because I don't think we are all on the same page with this. I think that we still have people that roll their eyes at things like this, that are upset about these. And we talk about it, and those that are delivery drivers, people that are on the road constantly, you see post-pandemic. And I keep saying that because that's when it all started, when the pandemic was going on, nobody was hurling out, and people were speeding. And since then, I have been seeing a lot of that. I still see it to this day. Do people roll their eyes, or are they glad that this is happening?
Yeah, I think it depends on whether you are a responsible driver or not. Because if you know that you tend to not be the one that's speeding, you're thinking, hey, good, because there are people who, how many times on a daily basis do you have a close call with someone who is driving so recklessly? It truly, because you and I both drive a lot, and it happens on almost a daily basis. It's like, whoa, that was a close call. I mean, what are these people doing? Why do they think that they're going to get away with it? And so, for one thing, the Traffic Safety Commission has been looking into crashes and speeding-related crashes in Washington. Since 2014, there have been more than 1,700 where someone has died because of speeding-related crashes. Yeah. It's happening too often. And we have some of the, so again, the crackdown, to me, I think is great. And by the way, I just want to say kudos to Bellevue PD. That is an example of a police department that just seems to be on a great roll.
Hey, Bellevue PD, y'all know how to do the PR stuff every quarter. We already know, because come the fourth quarter, we know what your message is going to be. That's when you talk about shoplifting. It's already in your notes, ain't it? You go talk about shoplifting. We're cracking down on shoplifting. Hey, we got your schedule down. By the way, speaking of,
well, but think about it. I mean, they're doing it smart. Yeah. They're letting people know, hey, this is what we're going to do.
I like that they do it.
Yeah, and the other thing is, how often do we talk about, I mean, they've had their scandals, but it's just not something that comes up a lot. Or you also feel like, hey, they're working to keep you safe over there in Bellevue.
One of the things that came up, since we're talking about speed, before we get off this topic, and I know we always talk about on the freeways and side streets, can we talk about parking lots? This morning at 4:45 this morning in the Starbucks parking lot, somebody sped in to go through the drive-thru with no lights on. I wanted to cuss them out, but I didn't want them probably to call the police on me if I was just being really angry and mad. Stop speeding in parking lots. All right, that's all I had to say.
Absolutely. Okay, hey, let's keep on with the good news. More good news to report this morning about drug use on King County Metro buses. The extra security and enforcement these days seems to be working. Como 4 is reporting the latest statistics show that drug-related incidents dropped by more than a third last year compared to 2023, and this positive trend is continuing this year. So in 2024, there were 1,022 drug-related incidents reported, according to King County Metro, which was basically one incident for every 80,000 boardings. That is down 35% compared to 2023. And a King County Metro spokesperson says the decrease in drug use on and around buses is a result of all of these different agencies working all together to disrupt the drug trade, especially in downtown Seattle.
How did they be able to do that, considering that SPD is down officers? Considering that we know they're down officers and response times, and some of the same political people are in office. Nothing has changed right there. You just talked about some of the efforts that they are making. But when I hear this news, it's good news to me. But I'll give you all a challenge. The same people that told you and consistently spent time telling you how bad it is, the drugs are everywhere, nothing is being done. Watch out and see if they report this news. See if they talk about this, or if they do talk about it, maybe they'll say, well, people aren't reporting it these days. They'll come up with an excuse.
Now, we are going to have the head of the transit union for King County Metro bus drivers. Yeah, so he's going to join us coming up at 10 o'clock, and so he'll give us his perspective of what they're seeing on the buses. But this is certainly good news. And just a reminder, we are waiting. The Cardinals have elected the next pope, so we're waiting for an announcement any moment now. But in the meantime, let's talk about those Seattle Mariners. A late inning comeback gives the Mariners their 9th consecutive series win, which is their longest since 2001. So they were down 5-0 against the A's on Wednesday, and the M's fought back to win it 6-5. And it was Dylan Moore who came through in the 8th inning.
With a 2-out RBI double, the comeback continues. And for the first time this afternoon, the Mariners have the lead.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it is. And Demo, you know what I'm saying, is the one who came with the big hit, scored 2 runs, no doubt about it. But, Nick, the one person and the one at-bat that most people won't talk about was before that 2 outs, Randy Arozarena gets a 9-pitch walk. And because of that pitcher throwing 9 pitches, that set it up for the comeback. This team right here, 9 series wins in a row. This is super exciting. I put something out on social media yesterday that said this, because there are a lot of people that are waiting for the shoe to drop. And it's unfortunate because if things are going good, do you enjoy it or do you sit back and wait for the shoe to drop? And no, in your real life.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Enjoy the moment. I mean, just fully enjoy the moment. And, sometimes the disappointment makes these sweet moments just that much sweeter.
Mm-hmm. Apollo Creed said to Rocky, "There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow, Rock." Coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show at 9:47, did you know the 10th richest zip code in the United States is here in the state of Washington? Can you guess which area that is? Up next, rent control legislation does advance here in the state of Washington, and we'll tell you everything you need to know. Next, Gee and Ursula.
The John Curley Show.
They call him Reggie Smiley Wilson. How many years did you drive a Metro bus?
36 years.
You were the guy that had a smile sign. When people came on, you say smile, you do jokes.
That bus is reality. And everybody needs to know that, hey, man, my reality is no different from yours because I got to eat, I got to sleep, and I got to work. And I think we all want to do it a better way.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7, and download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer premium windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and come with clean glass technology. And Leak Armor Installation gives you a lifetime warranty to protect your home. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Lake Washington Windows and Doors makes it easy to enjoy new windows with clean glass technology now and defer paying for them until 2026 with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Unleash your best self with an endless pool, the absolute best swim spa you can own. Play, swim, and stay fit in your backyard all year long. Now till May 15th, unleash savings of up to $8,800 on an endless pool swim spa package. Visit today and we'll get you swimming. Details at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Hi, my name is Rajiv Nagaich. Ever since I became an elder law attorney more than 20 years ago, I've helped thousands of people in the Seattle area retire with more confidence about their future. I'd like to invite you to one of my retirement planning seminars this month. Learn how to protect your estate from long-term care costs. Live out your years where you choose, even if you get sick, without becoming a burden on people you love the most. Learn how to use the Safe Harbor Trust to protect your estate from threats most people overlook. Come to the seminar and I'll show you how it's done.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454. 253-838-3454.
Guys, thinking about testosterone replacement therapy? Revive Men's Health can help you get started if you're ready to book your free T-check. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. That's Revive, REVIBE, menshealth.com.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings, departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
KIRO Newsradio. Breaking news.
CBS News special report. There's a new pope. Reaction in St. Peter's Square moments ago. Thousands cheering when white smoke emerged from the chimney at the Vatican Sistine Chapel. CBS's Maurice Dubois.
We're not going to know exactly who it is right away. Only the cardinals inside the Sistine Chapel know. It'll be about an hour before those balcony doors of St. Peter's Basilica finally open and the new pope is announced to the world. And there it is. The bell is ringing. You can hear it and you can feel this moment.
It's believed the decision came on the 4th round of voting. CBS News contributor John Allen.
If it happened this quickly, it was almost certainly one of the front runners going into this process. And the front runner of all front runners was Italian Cardinal Pietro Parolin, who had been Pope Francis' Secretary of State.
CBS News special report. I'm Steve Kathan.
And I'm Heather Bosch. Microsoft co-founder and philanthropist Bill Gates says he'll give away virtually all of his wealth over the next 20 years before shutting down his foundation, a charity that focuses on world health.
I'm super excited that that'll be over $200 billion that we'll give away during that time period, and that we'll be able to save tens of millions of lives.
The money will help fight preventable diseases as federal funding for many health, foreign aid, and public assistance programs has been cut. Bartell Drugs is laying off 131 workers starting June 4th. That's according to a filing with the state. The news comes just days after Rite Aid, which bought Bartell stores in 2020, announced it had filed for bankruptcy again. This time, the CEO told employees all its stores would be sold or closed. Bartell was founded in Seattle in 1890. It did not survive the pandemic. Rite Aid bought the company but has struggled with falling prescription reimbursements, opioid case settlements, online competition, and most recently, tariffs. The U.S. strikes a trade deal with the United Kingdom over trade.
The deal includes billions of dollars of increased market access for American exports, especially in agriculture.
President Trump announcing the deal today along with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. From the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk, no major blocking problems, but you still have some heavy volumes. Your travel times are dropping just a smidge. Everett to Seattle will take you about 54 minutes. Federal Way 58, Renton to Bellevue 41. Chuckanut Drive in Skagit County will stay closed until July as crews work to remove debris from an April rock slide. And heads up, there is a striping crew on State Route 202 between 192nd Place Northeast and Sammamish and 332nd Avenue Southeast in Fall City, so give them some room. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today. We'll see highs in the low 60s. It's 51 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. As always, our text line is open for you, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And hello to all of you watching us on YouTube. And right now we're going to talk about million-dollar homes because it apparently is now the norm in many parts of Western Washington. I was reading an article in the Seattle Times talking about the housing market this spring. And one of the things that this article pointed out is that King County's median single-family home price hit a new high in April, and now it is $1.03 million, which is up from 5% from a year ago. And the last time the monthly median surpassed $1 million was last May, but it was at slightly below that. And then the median Seattle home also sells for about $1 million, up 3%. And then in other parts, we're looking at in Snohomish County, it is $800,000 for the median, but you can still get more home in Pierce County and Kitsap County, both of them between $565,000 and $585,000 in those counties. Interestingly, though, it is more of a buyer's market because homes are staying on the market longer. They're not selling as fast.
Yeah, they're not. And because there's a lot of people that are sitting back waiting for the ultimate, which is we all know that at some point that the interest rate will drop is something that President Trump has been calling for and asking for, and is something that a lot of people are waiting for. And when I say waiting for, here's what's happening. There's a lot of people who have a lot of money. They're sitting back with their cash in the piggy bank waiting for that interest rate to drop. Then there are those also who don't have that much money, but you're somebody who's like, hey, I'm waiting for the interest rates so I can be able to buy. Unfortunately, here's the bad news. The bad news is yes, that house is this price. But if you wait when the interest rates drop, then all of the people that really have a lot of money will be there, will bid it up, the house will go up, and now you're paying more of a price. So if your plan is to get into a house, get into a house. Don't wait, get into the house. All the people that I know that don't do this stuff for a living are telling me to get in the house right now. Yeah. Go ahead, get that interest rate, get into it, then you can do your thing, but don't wait. Because if you wait, people with money will sit there, and then all of a sudden that house is this, and you wonder why it's $100,000 over asking price.
Well, you make fantastic points, Gee. The other thing is this idea that $1 million gets you a mansion. $1 million, a home, it's the norm. But when you look at these homes, anywhere else they wouldn't even be $250,000. Anywhere else other than California, for example.
You're not paying. You know what you're paying for, right? You're not paying for the house. You're paying for the location.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what it is, right? And these same locations here in these areas now are worth extremely more, right? And they didn't used to be. And so now they want you, and a lot of people, especially in Seattle, it is getting ready, is continuing to be the home of affluence.
I hate that. I hate that idea that it's only you can only live in Seattle if you have a lot of money. I hate that idea.
Well, I don't like it either. But that's what it is, right? Like you in order for you to live here in Seattle, you need to really make some good money. And when I say good money, I mean I'm talking about you need to at least be making close to $200, right, to be able to live here comfortably, to be able to afford maybe or buy a home, or if you choose to rent X amount, unless you want to have roommates.
True.
You know?
Okay, speaking of rent, with the stroke of his pen,
It's now my honor to sign this legislation law.
that is Governor Bob Ferguson signing 10 housing-related bills into law, and one of them is the one that caps rent increases at 7% plus inflation, or 10%, whichever is lower. And it was State Senator Emily Alvarado who spearheaded that bill.
This policy is a good start to rein in housing costs, prevent homelessness, and make communities more stable.
But critics say this bill is going to lead to fewer developers and will also reduce the number of mom and pop landlords. You and I have talked about this quite a bit, and now it is signed into law.
Okay, we're here now, Ursula. And this is something that I was against, but now that we're here. So here's what I'm looking forward to. Ursula, I'm looking forward to being wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to, in 1 year, 2 years down the road, I want to come on the show and say, hey, you know what? That whole deal that they did with rent cap, I was wrong. We have seen a decrease in homelessness. We have seen, and we're doing better with housing affordability, all of those things.
And the small mom and pop landlords have not fled the state.
Yep.
And that they're still in business.
Yep.
I mean,
one
of the things, and you and I ended up arguing on the same side, which was we are concerned that putting this rent cap. I mean, there are just very few studies, if any, that show that rent caps or any kind of rent control actually works. However, I think that they did make enough amendments that this one says it caps the rent increase at 7%, but that doesn't bar a landlord from saying, okay, then I'm going to start at this higher level. This is annual increase, right? So what's going to end up happening is they're just going to start at a higher level. Mm-hmm. So ultimately we'll see, okay, does this work? But it is true that there are people who are getting priced out when it comes to rent, that there are big landlords that are using the software that allows them to kind of see what the market can go for, and then they're jacking up their prices. So, I mean, something needs to be done, and we just hope that it's not something that ends up hurting more in the long run.
I also hope, on top of that in your top stories of the day, in 1 year, 2 years from now, I hope that we don't see a bunch of people that are trying to rent reporting that it is harder. The restrictions, the standards is now harder. And by the way, for the people out here there that you had a little rough time, you had a mishap where you missed a payment or something like that, and your credit dipped a little bit, that standard of renting a home has now been raised because of this rental cap. So, yes, you're going to need to deposit. You're going to need all of the higher standard going forward. But if we believe that the standards for renting places will lead to a decrease in homelessness, we'll see.
We'll see about that. Okay, just a reminder, though, any moment now, a new pope is going to emerge from the Vatican balcony. The College of Cardinals elected the 267th pope today. We will break in when that happens. You are listening to the Gee and Ursula Show.
The John Curley Show.
They call him Reggie Smiley Wilson. How many years did you drive a Metro bus?
36 years.
You were the guy that had a smile sign. When people came on, you say smile, you do jokes.
That bus is reality. And everybody needs to know that, hey, man, my reality is no different from yours because I got to eat, I got to sleep, and I got to work. And I think we all want to do it a better way.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7, and download the KIRO Newsradio app.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Hello, Seattle. It's your friendly neighbor, the T-Mobile Park roof. From up here, I can see it all. Folks pouring in from the street, the sun setting over the sound, the roar of the crowd as Luis Castillo pumps his fist, and the joy of the J-Rod squad as Julio snares a deep fly ball at the wall.
He reaches up with a leap and he makes the catch!
And all the faces smiling with every perfectly grilled hot dog and swirl of soft serve. When the final out's made, I'll be right up here, lighting the W and soaking it all in. Mariners baseball. Try it inside.
The next Mariners homestand is on deck. Join in for the Mother's Day weekend series tomorrow through Sunday and a marquee matchup against the Yankees starting Monday night. Then the fun picks up again with a 3-day Randy Arozarena bobblehead giveaway, May 27th through 29th. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Head to Nisqually Red Wind Casino in May during the Lucky Run giveaway. You could win big with a dealership credit and more. Free entries every Friday and Saturday. Bonus entries for military VIPs and those 50 plus. Nisqually Red Wind Casino is the South Sound's premier destination. Voted best casino, best hosts, best promotions, and best for fun. Players can always get in on the action with specials and dining discounts at their casual or fine dining restaurants. More details at redwindcasino.com. Only at Nisqually Red Wind Casino, your VIP here.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
There's so many things happening in the Seattle area. We got violent crime at a historic low. That is happening in some cities across the country. And we will have Greg Woodfield, Metro Drivers Union President, will join us next to talk about what the experience is for bus drivers now. The report came out that drug use on public transit is down. But right now, we do need to talk. And what we need to talk about is right now, the 10th richest zip code in the United States is Medina. Yes, some of you all have guessed it. Medina, Washington just snagged the title as the 10th richest zip code in the U.S. with an eye-popping average home price of around $3.9 million. This little city, as you all know, stands out in a field dominated by places like California and New York. So, if you thought about owning a mansion in Medina, this is your opportunity to go there. It is at 3.9. So, can you all believe that a small town in Washington is now rubbing elbows with billionaires? You know what they need to do here? They need to make a reality show based right here. Ursula, I'll give you, I'm not going to go through all 10, but I'll give you some that stand out to me in the top 10. Number one, I've never heard of this. The average home here in Atherton, California is $6.9 million. That is the average home in that town. And of course, coming in at number two is Beverly Hills at a $5 million average home price right there. Miami Beach, number 5, out there, $4.5 million. I'm getting ready to go somewhere tonight. As you all know, I'm going to fly tonight to go see my son off to rookie camp, and I'm heading to Boston. I've never been to Boston, Massachusetts. I went to go, my hotel price, I need a loan. I had to take out a loan for the hotel.
Was this just for an average hotel, or this was kind of fancy dancy?
I mean, it's fancy dancy, but still, I know where fancy dancy is other places.
Okay.
And so then I got to realize, Boston, Massachusetts comes in at 6.
Yeah.
The average home price in Boston is $4.2 million.
Yeah. Well, let's look at who lives in these cities. Let's just start with Medina. I mean, who are some of the most famous ones who live in Medina? Obviously, Bill Gates, Melinda Gates, right? Jeff Bezos used to have a house there. How about all the high-tech CEOs who have homes there? So when you say the average price is how much in Medina?
3.9.
How much did Jeff Bezos sell his house for?
63.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I want to make this fun. I know some of you all are rolling your eyes, and you're probably like, oh, this is boring. So, okay, let's have fun. Check this out. Here's a game, 888-973-5476, and you on a YouTube channel, you get to answer this question. If money were no object, right? Let's just say you got all the money. What extravagant home feature would you have on your dream home? You could only pick one. Ursula, what you got?
I would love an even fancier oven. And the only reason I'm hesitating with that, and I couldn't even tell you what kind of oven, but I would want one with all the bells and whistles because I know it adds value to the home. But I'm not wanting that because I would actually cook more because, as you all know, I'm not a great chef. I'm a great baker, but I'm not someone who does a lot of cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't even think of anything that I actually would really need.
So this is very easy, and it's funny that you picked a stove.
Yeah.
Here's what I have learned. When you all go out and look at homes, or, I want to see that house, or you go to your friend's home, I see that house.
Yes.
What is the first area that we fall in love with?
Kitchen.
So.
Kitchen sells.
Kitchen,
Amen.
period.
Yes. It's the heart of the home.
So my extravagant feature,
yeah.
If money were no object,
yes,
I would be like, listen, I want $50 million invested into the kitchen. I want my kitchen to be state-of-the-art, and I'm talking about your stove. I'm talking about walk-in pantries. I'm talking about you come in, you hit a button, and I say, hit a button that says J, and that's for Jif peanut butter, and it comes right to me.
Okay, I had it wrong because I thought you just said like one appliance or one thing. Okay, I want to just deck out my entire kitchen.
Entire kitchen.
And then the other thing is the bathroom and walk-in closet. That would be second.
Yeah, kitchen first. Yeah. Chef, before we go, what you got?
Oh, I'd want like a fully decked wood shop with hand tools like Nick Offerman, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nick, what you got, man?
Very scenic guy. I want a place with a really nice view, maybe a pool with that view too. And then musical guy, I want a really nice music studio, recording studio.
Okay. 253. Oh, you win. My most extravagant feature would be a lazy river. Oh, could you imagine having a lazy river come around
moat style surrounding your home?
That would be so awesome. 206 says I would want a self-cleaning house.
Oh, yes.
Lisa in Bellevue.
Yes.
I would want a beautiful wraparound porch.
Ooh, I'd love some beachfront.
Yeah.
That's another reason why Medina's expensive, right?
Right. Now, by the way, I wouldn't spend that much money on my toilet. I'm sorry, y'all. I think expensive toilet. I got an expensive toilet in my house.
The bidet
it's overrated.
is a must.
It's overrated. Just give me some baby wipes.
No.
How big does the garage have to be now? 2, 3 cars? What are we talking?
Oh, no, I'm cool.
Okay.
Hey, but my second place, so Ursula said first place in the kitchen, yes. My second place is my wardrobe room.
Oh, yeah.
I want that hooked up. Okay, it was been fun. Now we got to get back to business.
I'm wrapping my head around wardrobe room. I'm happy to finally have a walk-in closet.
I got a lot of clothes. Hey, coming up next, we're going to bring on a guest, the union president for the Metro drivers. He'll join us. And what we're going to talk about is the report that came out saying that drug use on these buses are down. Let's find out if they are safe. And by the way, just a reminder, at any moment, the new Pope will emerge from the Vatican balcony. We'll let you know next. Gee Ursula.
At the Harnish Auto family, people matter isn't just a saying, it's how they do business. For over 40 years, their dealerships, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Volkswagen, Subaru of Puyallup, plus Chevrolet and Kia of Everett, have built a stellar reputation on trust, respect, and great deals. From supporting local charities to making sure every customer drives away happy, they're here for you. Stop by any of their dealerships or visit HarnishAutoFamily.com and find your next car today. Harnish Auto Family. People matter.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimer.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here, along with IRG Physical and Hand Therapy President and CEO Shannon O'Kelly. Well, the seasons, they're changing. The guys are playing the sports outdoors. I know many are starting to maybe pull the lawnmower out and get back to the landscape and the outdoor work. I'm going to guess, Shannon, at IRG, maybe a little busier season?
Oh, absolutely, Brock. You know, we know when the seasons change, particularly when it gets warmer, people are in their houses pretty much all winter long with our cold weather, rain, et cetera, particularly here in the Puget Sound. And everybody's excited. They want to rush out and get going with their activity. I'm telling you, as a physical therapist for 35 years here, you need to prepare your body. So take time to warm up, increase some flexibility, do some stretches, because if you prepare your body and prevent injuries, those activities outside, particularly that exciting thing, mowing your lawn, is going to be healthier and it's going to be a lot more fun.
And you feel better. For more info or to book your appointment today, simply go to irgpt.com. It's all waiting for you right there at irgpt.com.
The peace lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Bells and cheers follow white smoke, signaling the selection of a new pope at the Vatican. Now attention's focused on a balcony where his first appearance is expected soon. CBS's Seth Doan in St. Peter's Square.
The crowd just erupted in applause. Of course, everyone immediately putting up their phones, recording people looking around. Some degree of disbelief. Of course, that's what they came, that's what they were hoping to see, but people can't believe they are actually seeing it. Some telling us, I was going to wait here till I got to witness history. Well, they just got to witness history.
CBS News contributor Delia Gallagher says the selection may have been one of the favorites.
If it was today, that means they only had about 3 or 4 ballots to do it, and it seemed to us that it would be the man with the most experience, the most kind of obvious candidate, and that is certainly the former Secretary of State, Pietro Parolin.
Well, now to Washington, President Trump reaches a trade agreement with the UK that will eliminate some tariffs and reduce others and give American industry more access.
With this deal, the UK joins the United States in affirming that reciprocity and fairness is an essential and vital principle of international trade.
I'm Vicky Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. The EU's executive branch has just published a list of U.S. imports that'll be hit with retaliatory duties if the Trump administration doesn't budge on its across-the-board tariffs. The European Commission also says it's launching legal action against the Trump tariffs at the World Trade Organization.
Well, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is due to roll out a government plan today to upgrade the air traffic control system. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
Delta CEO Ed Bastian says he fully supports upgrading the air traffic control system. And that conversation comes in the wake of last Monday's outage, which appears to at least in part be due to a fried copper wire. Now, United Airlines is asking the FAA to reinstitute limits on the number of flights allowed per hour at Newark, controls the FAA eliminated back in 2016.
Well, Pakistan has warned it will avenge those killed by Indian airstrikes that were in response to an attack in Kashmir. Each side has launched drone attacks. Pakistan's defense minister says the situation has the attention of the White House.
President Trump has openly advocated peace and de-escalation of situation in subcontinent.
And repeating our top story, a new pope has been chosen, still yet to appear at the Vatican. Wall Street, the Dow is up 630 points. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. Protect your auto, home, and business with Progressive and get 24/7 coverage. See if you can save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Students suspended over destructive protests. That story coming up at first from the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk. In Renton, a lane is partially blocking I-405 southbound near State Route 167. You're backed up to Beacon Way South. In Seattle, a lane is blocked on I-5 southbound at North 85th Street. You're solid from Capitol Hill to halfway down Boeing Field. Travel time ever to Seattle, 47 minutes now, about 10 longer than typical. And traffic is alternating on State Route 104 westbound in Fort Gamble. Not much of a backup there right now. Traffic brought to you by Wilcox Farms. Cage-free eggs are good, free-range are better, and mobile pasture are the best. Choose the best. Locally fresh Wilcox Family Farm eggs.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. 21 students have been suspended from the University of Washington for Monday's pro-Palestinian protest that turned destructive. This student tells KIRO 7 TV.
I probably agree with their message, but I think using violence and tactics is not really the best mode to do it. I think they could have gotten a lot more done if they just occupied the building instead of starting fires.
More than 30 were arrested after the UW says they barricaded themselves inside an engineering building, smashed windows and lab equipment, and set a dumpster on fire. Tukwila police are investigating after someone opened fire at South Center Mall last night. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao has more from the scene.
Police say several windows were damaged when they say someone started shooting at another person while going another direction. One witness told KIRO 7 News that shots were fired toward the mall doors, shattering the glass, possibly towards the BJ's area and Moctezuma's restaurant. The witness tells us it was loud. Everyone hit the ground and then ran to the back of the kitchen until police arrived.
Police say the shooter and the victim knew each other. No one was injured. Contract talks are expected today between the union that represents 150 people who refuel aircraft and their company, Swissport. Teamster spokesperson Jamie Fleming says they're pushing for higher wages and better working conditions.
These people smell like jet fuel at the end of the day. They should have some facilities available to them so they don't have to go home to their families smelling like that.
Workers have voted to strike if they don't get a better deal. Swissport says it's made a competitive offer. The Washington State Supreme Court today upheld the state's ban on high-capacity gun magazines. Gun rights advocates sued, arguing the law violates the Constitution. Under the law, magazines are limited to 10 rounds or fewer. Governor Bob Ferguson has signed a bill that aims to rein in rent hikes. It caps increases at 7% plus inflation or 10%, whichever's lower. State Senator Emily Alvarado spearheaded the measure.
This policy is a good start to rein in housing costs, prevent homelessness, and make communities more stable.
Critics say the bill will lead to fewer developers and reduce the number of mom-and-pop landlords. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the low 60s. It's 53 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday, May 8th. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning, G. As you all know, we are waiting for the new pope to emerge from the Vatican balcony. That is expected to happen any moment now after the pope was selected by the cardinals in the second day of voting. So there are big crowds right now watching St. Peter's balcony, and a lot of folks are just waiting for the announcement, and we will bring that to you as soon as it happens. As always, we invite you to join us on the text line 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO.
What's new at 10?
Is drug use really down in and around King County Metro buses? The latest statistics show that drug-related incidents dropped by more than a third last year compared to 2023, and this positive trend is continuing this year. But this is based on reports, and we are wanting to know if bus drivers and passengers are actually noticing the difference. So joining us right now on the Gee and Ursula Show is Greg Woodfill, the president of the Metro Drivers Union. Good morning, Greg.
Hey, good morning, Gee and Ursula. It's always a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you for joining us. So tell us, have you noticed a difference in the past year or so since efforts have gone in to try to bring down the number of drug-related incidents?
Well, being the president, not being out on the road, I just did a snap poll up on our Facebook employee group, and we've got a quick 18 votes so far. It was 51% have not observed a noticeable difference. 33% have seen decreasing use on transit, and 16% actually say they see more. There's always a problem with all statistics reported by Metro is, are they getting accurate reporting? Are the operators, there's kind of obstacles to report stuff, and then some frontline transit employees feel like it's not going to do any good, so they don't report. And then some are afraid to report, feeling retaliation on some of the reports if they start pulling up videos. So I wish I had a better answer, but one of the things that came up was if the weather's out good, you'll see more in the shelters, and then, of course, when the weather's bad, then they'll get on the bus. Hopefully it is accurate. I know we have added some security out there, and it's been on the news a lot. I hope that the fentanyl use is down myself, but
Hey, Greg, I want to ask this. This is something that I haven't been able to ask you all, and this is my first time ever. Can you give us some of the the common behaviors that happen on buses that come from people that are using drugs? What are the things that you and or your drivers experience?
Well, I could just relay what I've heard from the drivers. And I was in the control center the last 8 years. It's just they just don't care. It's particularly with fentanyl, you don't want the wind blowing it. And so they're just going to get on a bus because they know they can get on for a few stops and use it. And they're not going to care if there's a grandparent or a kid right next to them. They're going to use it. And then, if they get asked to get off or whatever, then they'll just get off. By the time they're use their drugs, get off the bus, and are gone, odds are we're not going to have the police out there. So it's kind of just a not caring about the public and the exposure they're creating to everybody else.
And when you say they're not caring, you're talking about the drug users themselves?
I'm talking about the drug users, yeah.
Okay.
It's just it's a convenient place to use the drugs, particularly when the weather's bad. Get out of the wind so it's not blowing your smoke around, and that's kind of that's the reports I've heard.
And what are drivers able to do about that right now when it comes to people who are using drugs on Metro buses?
Well, it's tough. They can call the control center, and they can always, if it's not safe, they can always stop the bus and call for help. But then you're tying up a bus, and passengers aren't real happy. And how long are you going to wait for police? We're pushing our regional task force right now. We need more resources. We need more Metro Transit police officers. We need more of these security officers. There just needs to be more investment. We need to restore order and accountability on public transit. We don't have there isn't a choice. If we don't do that, people will stop using transit, and people won't want to do these jobs.
We are joined here by Greg Woodfield. He is the union president for the King County Metro bus drivers. And so obviously there has been a change. Obviously, you put a poll out there to ask your drivers and everything about have they been seeing it, and some of them say yes, and then some of them say no, I don't see a change. But obviously it has been reported. What I do want to know, Greg, is has there anything been new that has been implemented by the bosses, by your driver? Anything been implemented new that could possibly lead to a decrease in drug use on buses? Has there anything been new?
Yeah, starting, I think, back November, they actually started being able to book people. So the county, before, if you go out to a security issue or a drug issue, they weren't actually able to book anyone. So people just didn't pay attention to them. But now, I know our Metro Transit Police, the leadership, jail isn't their first option. That's not what you want to do. But it has to be an option, and now they actually do have that option. The county has put some more resources out, community resources out at areas like the Burien Transit Center and a few other areas, trying to get resource help to people. There's not enough of that we need more funding. And they talk about a big ramp in security officers. If I believe that number they got out there, they are out and about more. A lot of our operators don't report seeing them, so there's that.
You are listening to Greg Woodfield, the president of the Metro Drivers Union, joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. We sure appreciate your insight, and we will continue to stay in touch with you. Hopefully, you are going to see more results and get the additional help that you need in terms of trying to enforce and stop people from using drugs on Metro buses. Thank you so much for joining us.
And I would just want to thank you for covering this. If we don't keep it in the public eye, we're not going to get the action we need. So thanks to both of you.
Absolutely. Hey, we are going to be switching gears here because, as you know, and as we've been reporting, the Catholic Church announcing and the cardinals voting in the new pope. And something is actually happening right now in Vatican City, and we're watching on TV. We're expecting to wait and see who has been chosen as the new pope. And Gee, are you seeing anything right now online in terms of who they were talking about? Who were the most likely candidates? And one of them is an Italian cardinal. And he became Parolin, and he became the odds-on favorite, overtaking the Filipino cardinal Luis Tagle, who was considered one of the favorites. Mm-hmm. But we are waiting. I don't know exactly what just happened there. Do you
we
know?
had the cardinal come out and announce that they have a pope,
but we don't know who the pope is.
Not stood out yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you hear me trying to stretch here, it's just there are a few names that have popped up as the favorites. Obviously, me being Filipino, I am excited about the possibility of potentially a Filipino pope, as I know many Filipinos are also excited about that. But just in recent days, they have said it is the Italian cardinal who seems to be the leading candidate.
I just want to say white smoke means new pope.
Yep, exactly. And the white smoke was out there this morning. Okay, so speaking of road safety, since we were talking about what's going on Metro buses, egregious speeders are going to be required to install speed limiting devices in their cars because this new law is going to be signed by Governor Ferguson next week. And we are just now learning that the new pope is Cardinal Robert Prevost,
who is an American, actually, and not one of the four that was anticipated.
This is huge breaking news.
Not just
this? That we have a new pope. Yeah, is CBS offering anything?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to join there right now.
A mission in Peru. He served as the head of the Vatican's very powerful dicastery for bishops under Francis for the past 2 years. What does that mean? What did he do?
Well, essentially, the Dicastery for Bishops is responsible for naming bishops all around the world. As I like to say, it is a great way to make friends in the Catholic Church.
So he has a lot of friends.
He already plays a big role here at the Vatican, no doubt. So he is well known. And I think, interestingly, too, he was a math major at Villanova, which is important as the Vatican's finances are in trouble.
Oh, he has got quite a number of good things about him. He is also an Augustinian priest.
Which means?
Which is an order, and we were just saying today is one of their special feast
Our Lady of Grace.
And John and I were saying earlier, well, maybe that's a sign. He also studied here at the Angelicum, a Dominican university, so he has quite a number of boxes ticked in that.
And John, you describe him as someone who could put a positive face on the church. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, he is considered a man of great dialogue, a man of great openness, a man of great balance. And let me also say that at a personal level, he is just extremely affable. He is a very nice guy, very easy to like. I think the world will see that tonight.
Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost is the next Holy Father. Seth Doan is in the square with some Americans reacting to this news. Seth?
Let me tell you, Nora, we were all looking toward that balcony. The crowd, it's like everyone raised 2 feet as we were starting to hear. And then when we heard the name, people looked around and said, an American Pope, an American Pope. And I looked out of my corner of my eye and saw these 3 Americans saying, is it an American Pope? Oh, what are you thinking?
Never thought I would have seen the day that there would be an American Pope.
Yeah, especially now.
What do you mean?
Expecting this. I wasn't expecting it at all.
Like, I left work early. I mean, don't tell my boss, but I'm glad I did.
What does it mean to you as Americans to have an American Pope? What do you think it means? What do you hope it means?
I mean, it's great. I mean, we're feeling very patriotic. But
I think we're still processing.
I know, it's still, like, it's so fresh. I mean, I just really hope that, like, this American Pope, he can, keep the train on the tracks rolling that Francesco did. The previous Pope, keep the church moving in the same direction. That's what I hope. It makes people proud.
If I can summarize it, even there was a gentleman from Paraguay who was standing next to me. His mouth dropped. He said, an American Pope. That is the feeling here. Surprise, shock, excitement, hope. The mix of emotions continues as their space decreases. The emotions increase. Back to you.
It's a tribute to Leo.
Oh, man. Seth, thank you so much. Pope Leo the 14th. That is the name. Is it the 14th or is it just Leo?
It is the 14th.
It is Leo the 14th. Let that sink in. What does that mean?
It's a wonderful name. The Pope Leo the 13th, and a new Pope always builds on a Pope whose name he takes.
So we have 13th
was a great reformer. At the turn of the 20th century, he issued a very major encyclical, Rerum Novarum, on social justice. So what I think we are seeing here is a Pope who is continuing in the footsteps of Pope Francis, at the same time an American who can bring some order to the church's finances here, and a very affable, good man.
Let's go down to Tony DeCopel, who is in the square. Tony?
Nora, I am an American, Chicago-born. It's a famous line in American literature, a Saul Bellow novel. It could now apparently be the beginning of a memoir for the next pope. That news that an American-born pope will soon appear on that balcony has spread through this crowd with a mix of bewilderment, excitement, shock, joy. It has been a marvel to see. The phones were out, of course, in our modern age, to take in the moment of the announcement, this great joy we have a pope. Immediately afterward, the heads were down as people Googled the name. Who is this person? Where did he come from? American, or is there something else? And of course, there is something else. I would characterize the condition of the crowd here at the moment as still processing, as I send it back to you.
Yes. All right, Tony, thank you so much. As we let this sink in, that Pope Leo the 14th, an American, Robert Prevost, Cardinal originally from Chicago, is now the Holy Father. The last thing we were expecting. United States, really? And it's actually happened. So we try to absorb that. Let's bring in our panel here. John, what do we think we're going to expect from Leo the 14th, the American?
Well, first of all, I have to say I am still dealing with a personal degree of shock here. because I've been covering the Vatican for almost 30 years, but I can tell you this is an absolute first. The new Pope has eaten dinner in my house. My wife and I actually had him to dinner a few months ago. It was a delightful evening, but I can tell you it's taken on a whole new luster now. Right?
Does that make you holier or less so?
I think it makes me lucky.
Yeah.
But listen, to your point, what I think people are going to see in Pope Leo XIV, and it's going to take me a minute to get over calling him Cardinal Prevost, but in any event, I think what people are going to see is a man of great warmth, great accessibility, and a man who I think what he's going to want to do is reach out and kind of gather this crowd and, in a virtual sense, gather the whole world into his arms. And as I said, at a personal level, what I can tell you is that you'll never meet a nicer guy.
Wow.
Now, let us be clear. There will be debates and there will be question marks about this Pope. For instance, some advocates on behalf of survivors of clerical sexual abuse have raised questions about aspects of Cardinal Prevost's record, both when he was the superior of the Augustinians and also when he was in Peru. That's going to have to be unpacked in the days to come. And there will be other question marks that present themselves. But all that said, my prediction is that when we see the new Pope step out on the balcony here in a few moments, most people are going to like what they see.
What about him personally? What's he like?
Look, well, now you're about to find out.
Oh, my gosh.
Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost has chosen the name Pope Leo XIV.
The first American Pope is now on the balcony. He is Cardinal Robert Prevost of Chicago. He is taking the name of Pope Leo XIV. This is truly a historic moment. The first North American Pope. He was born in Chicago, Illinois in 1955, and he joined the Order of St. Augustine, spent many years serving in Peru as a missionary, a priest, and a bishop. Gee, I know you have some thoughts on this as we wait for him to speak. He right now is waving at the crowd at the Vatican City. This is a surprise to everybody.
Can you say Shy City? He's from the Go. He's from Chicago. There's a possibility that the new Pope, Pope Leo, has eaten at Portillo's, Harold's Chicken, Lim's Barbecue, Gino's East, Giordano's, and everywhere. There's a good chance he's been to Capri's Pizza. He knows that thin crust in Chicago is actually better than deep dish. This is good news, and I don't know, I'll save it for later, but I want to tell you why this is going to be good news for the Catholic Church, especially here in the United States.
This is a name that a lot of you have never heard before, Cardinal Robert Prevost of Chicago. He holds degrees in mathematics, divinity, and canon law. He is seen as a reformer in the mold of Pope Francis. Again, he is waving to the wildly cheering crowd at Vatican City right now. You heard, and oh my gosh, you heard the CBS News.
We needed a
it's
win.
Kind of emotional at the moment.
The country needed a win. The country needed the world to see that the United States of America is still a winning place. Because, as you all know, lately it hasn't. But anyways, the fact that the Pope is from right here, Midwest Chicago, the United States, I think this is incredible. I actually feel so much pride right now. And I'm not Catholic.
You aren't.
I just want to say that.
But I think a lot of people are feeding.
Pace sia con tutti voi. Fratelli, sorelle carissimi, questo è il primo saluto del Cristo risorto, il buon pastore che ha dato la vita per il gregge di Dio. Anch'io vorrei che questo saluto di pace entrasse nel vostro cuore, raggiungesse le vostre famiglie, a tutte le persone, ovunque siano, a tutti i popoli, a tutta la terra. La pace sia con voi.
The first American Pope, Pope Leo XIV.
We're just hearing the first words of Pope Leo XIV. As he continues, we'll provide a summary here in just a moment as we listen to his words.
Questa è la pace di Cristo risorto, una pace disarmata e una pace disarmante, umile e perseverante. Proviene da Dio.
It comes from God.
Dio che ci ama a tutti.
God who loves all of us
incondizionalmente.
without any limits and conditions.
Ancora conserviamo nei nostri orecchi
And
quella voce debole ma sempre
we still have
coraggiosa
the sound in our ears of the weak voice of Pope Francis, who was blessing Rome here. We have that fresh in our minds and our hearts.
Il Papa che benediva Roma dava la sua benedizione al mondo intero, quella mattina del giorno di Pasqua.
On that morning, on that day of Easter Sunday.
Consentitemi di dar seguito a quella stessa benedizione.
To continue
Dio
that
ci vuole
blessing.
bene. Dio vi ama tutti.
God loves everyone.
E il male non prevarrà.
Evil will not
Siamo
prevail.
tutti nelle mani
We
di
are all
Dio.
in the hands of God.
Pertanto, senza paura,
So without fear,
uniti,
united,
mano nella mano con Dio
hand in
e
hand,
tra di noi,
with God and among ourselves,
andiamo avanti.
we go forward.
Siamo discepoli di Cristo.
We are disciples of Christ.
Cristo ci precede.
Christ goes before us.
Il mondo ha bisogno della sua luce.
The world needs his light.
L'umanità necessita di Lui come
Humanity
il ponte
needs him.
per essere raggiunta da Dio e dal suo amore.
But as the bridge between God and his love.
Aiutateci anche voi, poi gli uni gli altri, a costruire i ponti.
May we all
con il
build
dialogo,
bridges
con l'incontro,
with dialogue and
unendoci
encounter,
tutti per essere un solo
so that we can
popolo,
all be
sempre in pace.
one people, all in peace.
Grazie a Papa Francesco.
Thank you, Pope Francis, for all.
Voglio ringraziare anche tutti i confratelli
I'd like
cardinali
to also
che
thank my brother
hanno
cardinals
scelto me
who chose
per essere
me to
successore di
be the
Pietro
successor of
e
Peter
camminare insieme a voi
and to
come Chiesa
walk along
unita,
with you,
cercando sempre la pace, la giustizia,
searching all together for
cercando
peace and
sempre
justice,
lavorare come uomini
and working
e donne
together,
fedeli a Gesù
men and women
Cristo,
faithful to
senza
Christ,
paura,
without fear,
per proclamare
to
il Vangelo,
proclaim the
per
gospel,
essere missionari.
to be missionaries.
Sono un figlio di Sant'Agostino.
I'm a son of St. Augustine,
Agostiniano,
and I'm an Augustinian
che ha detto: con voi sono cristiano
who said,
e per voi vescovo.
with you I am a Christian, and for you I am a bishop.
Tutti camminare
So
insieme
may we all
verso quella
walk together
patria
towards that,
la quale Dio ci ha preparato.
to the place that God has prepared for us.
Alla Chiesa
To the Church
di Roma,
of Rome,
un saluto speciale.
a special greeting as Bishop of Rome.
Dobbiamo cercare insieme come essere
We've
una
got to
chiesa missionaria.
look at how we can together be a missionary church,
Che costruisce i ponti,
a church that builds bridges,
sempre aperta a ricevere,
that is always open to receive everyone. Just like in this square, to receive everyone, to welcome everyone, our charity, our dialogue and love.
Y se me permiten también una palabra, un saludo.
And now, a greeting in Spanish. Please allow me.
A todos aquellos, y en modo particular a mi querida diócesis de Chiclayo en el Perú.
But especially to the people of my diocese of Chiclayo in Peru,
donde un pueblo fiel ha acompañado a su obispo, ha compartido su fe y ha dado tanto para
where we
seguir
had such faithful
siendo
people accompanying
iglesia fiel
the
de
bishop, and we had such faithful people helping the
fratelli e
bishop.
sorelle di Roma, d'Italia, di tutto il
To
mondo,
all of you,
vogliamo essere
the people
una
of
chiesa
Rome and of Italy,
sinodale, una chiesa che cammina, una chiesa che
we need to
cerca
be a synodal church, a church that's a pilgrim, that shows charity always,
a coloro che soffrono.
and especially is charitable to those who are suffering.
Oggi
Today,
il giorno della supplica alla Madonna di Pompei.
Today is the day of praying to the Madonna of Pompeii.
Maria vuole sempre camminare con noi, stare vicino.
Our Blessed Mother Mary always wants to be
con la sua
close to us.
intercessione, il suo amore.
She always
Allora
wants to
vorrei
intercede
pregare
for us
insieme a voi.
through her love.
Preghiamo insieme
So
per questa nuova missione.
let us pray together for this new mission, for all of the church, for peace in the world,
Chiediamo questa grazia speciale.
that she will help us give us a special grace, our Mother.
Ave Maria, piena di grazia.
Hail Mary,
Il
full of
Signore è
grace,
con
the
te.
Lord is with you.
Tu sei benedetta fra le
You are
donne,
blessed among
e
women,
benedetto è il frutto del
and
tuo
blessed is the
seno,
fruit of
Gesù.
your womb, Jesus.
Santa Maria,
Holy
Madre
Mary,
di Dio,
Mother of God,
prega per noi peccatori.
pray for us sinners,
Adesso e nell'ora
now
della
and at the
nostra
end hour of our
morte.
death.
Amen.
Amen.
You are listening to the first American Pope to lead the Roman Catholic Church. Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost of Chicago was elected Pope today. He is going to go by the name Pope Leo the 14th. And I know that you were listening intently, Gee, as many of our listeners were too. And what are some of your thoughts as we...
Well, I'm glad. Thank you for asking. I sat here and I was writing down things that stood out to me. And by the way, I was being funny earlier. Now I want to be serious for a second. I loved a lot of the things that he was saying. There were a lot of words, a lot of things said, like he brought up humanity, and he talked about that. He talked about how now more than ever before is the opportunity to build bridges. He talks about that. He also brings up the fact that God loves everyone and welcomes everyone. So there's a lot of excitement that I have right now initially is because of a couple things. Here in the United States, attendance in the Catholic Church has been not slowly ticking away. It has been drowning. It has been it has been bad in the dumps. So one, I am excited because this could potentially bring folks back to the Catholic Church. That's if you are Catholic. I'm not trying to, say if you're a believer or not, but if you're in the Catholic Church and you're somebody that has not gone away, or you have gone away, this is an opportunity for the United States to pick up with attendance. That's one. Two, I do love the fact that the United States is being talked about in a positive light, that the first Pope from the United States is Pope Leo, who is born and raised in Chicago. And the last thing, Ursula, I will say is this. I hope those aren't empty words. And what I mean by that is when he says we welcome everyone, and when he says God loves everyone, and when he says build bridges, and he talks about humanity, I really believe that there should be no yeah but to that. There should be no, but it says right, no. Because if we really want to rack them and stack them, Jesus did love everyone. Everyone. So that's my thoughts.
It's interesting that, I mean, not only is it the first American Pope, but this is a name, Robert Prevost was a name that really did not come up until very recently, and he wasn't considered one of the front runners. So everyone was just thrown off guard. So we're all scrambling to find out, well, what do we know about him other than he's a cardinal from Chicago? He's 69 years old. Mm-hmm. So he is younger in terms of popes. Yeah. And so he has the potential of leading the Roman Catholic Church now for decades, really, if he stays healthy. The other thing is there was a big question as to whether the church was going to move toward more in the direction which was considered more inclusive of Pope Francis, or if it was going to return to stricter doctrinal enforcement. And one of the things that has been said about the Prevost is that he is representing, this is a quote, the dignified middle of the road. That is what Reverend Michelle Falcone, who is a priest in the Order of St. Augustine, said in the New York Times just recently. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean? Tries to embrace some of the what was in the old Catholic Church, but bridge it with some of the more progressive ideals. As you mentioned, the Catholic Church, the number of followers has dropped dramatically. And I mean, if you look at what's happening here in the Seattle area, parishes have had to combine because there just aren't enough priests.
Right. I want to say something because sometimes when progressive gets attached to some of the topics that we talk about, right? For years, it has been said that he does love everyone. That isn't new. That has been talked about, that he loves everyone, right? Everybody is to be welcome. God's children. There should be no progressive tag put on, so for example, if you have gotten a divorce, if you've been married and you've gotten a divorce, I promise you, if the saying is that they love everyone, they still love you. We can't pick and choose. So I don't know what's going to happen this day forward. I am celebrating the excitement along with everyone. So shocked that he's from the United States, Ursula, from Chicago. I'm excited about potentially attendance in the United States lifting up. But then we will see. We will see. And I hope that those words aren't empty about loving everyone. It's no progressive. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
You're not woke.
I mean, I agree. I agree with you on all that, and I think a lot of Catholics would feel the same way. But I think there are also many Catholics who are hanging on to the old way of thinking and what's, what they have believed all their lives and what has been since history, and that's where we're at today.
And he, real quick, Ursula, he really also loves the man that has sex with a porn star on his wife.
What's that?
I'm just saying, he loves everyone. He still loves him too. He loves everyone. Just making a point. All right, good stuff, Ursula. We'll come on back. Are we gonna stay on this? Or are we gonna go into scenarios?
Scenarios.
Okay, we'll do that next. Gee Ursula.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th. At your local Camping World.
See you with the full details and disclaimer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Summer is on everyone's mind, and many of us ladies, well, you men too, would like to get rid of that extra stubborn fat and address those areas of loose skin like around the waistline, chin, and upper arms. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat-freezing methods, even those new pills, but without getting the results you were hoping for. Introducing ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. ProSculpt is minimally invasive, performed while you're fully awake, and it's gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate and permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation, and for a limited time, get $250 off. Feel confident this summer with instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening that works for women and men too. ProSculpt.com.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Hi, my name is Rajiv Nagaich. Ever since I became an elder law attorney more than 20 years ago, I've helped thousands of people in the Seattle area retire with more confidence about their future. I'd like to invite you to one of my retirement planning seminars this month. Learn how to protect your estate from long-term care costs. Live out your years where you choose, even if you get sick, without becoming a burden on people you love the most. Learn how to use the Safe Harbor Trust to protect your estate from threats most people overlook. Come to the seminar and I'll show you how it's done.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454. 253-838-3454.
Unleash your best self with a hot spring spa from Olympic Hot Tub, featuring the Freshwater IQ Salt System, healthy saltwater soaks, and a tub that tests your water. Save up to $3,800. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Cold leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Hey folks, John Curley here. One of the best home comfort inventions of recent time, mini split systems. Now you can enjoy efficient heating and cooling while saving energy and reducing utility bills with personalized room comfort. Call my friends at Home Comfort Alliance for a free consultation, and for a limited time, get 18 months same as cash financing on all qualified systems. For all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
It is the Gee Ursula Show. We got agree to disagree. That's happening next. And a question for you. Would you like to take an etiquette class? That'll come up in agree to disagree. But right now, scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
I have been talking to a girl for a couple months. She lives about 45 minutes away, and we finally got to meet for the first time. Her birthday was last month, so I got her a nice necklace pendant as a belated birthday gift. I thought she would love it, but she laughed and said she couldn't accept it because it was too expensive. First of all, how does she know what it costs? It was a small pendant with her birthstone. I was just wanted to make a good impression. It completely backfired and got awkward. Later we text and she told me she's still getting to know me and I shouldn't just be throwing jewelry her way. So is this a thing? What did I do wrong? 888-973-5476 is the text line. Ursula, you have to bat first.
What you did wrong is that you were very thoughtful, but maybe a little too early with the jewelry. And she told you that. And I think for a lot of people, once you start investing in jewelry, it feels like you're really in a much more serious relationship than what maybe she thought it is. You're only a month in, and you want to wait before you make those kinds of purchases until you're a little more solidified in your relationship. And if you're communicating properly, you'll know when that is. Mm-hmm. I mean, they'll start dropping hints if anything else, but at this juncture, she's telling you, I'm not that into you quite yet.
Yeah. Chef, before you go, I just got to say this. Full stop. This is why being in the dating world today sucks. And let me explain why. So let's just say that he'd been a couple months. Finally, he gave her this belated gift. It was jewelry. She's like, hey, that's too serious. So let's say he spent $400 or $500 on it, right? That's a big deal. And people listening right now, you're like, oh my goodness, spending $400 or $500 on a piece of jewelry, that's crazy. But check this out. Imagine if he takes her to a Beyonce concert and takes her out to dinner, and that comes out to be $750. there's no problem with there's a problem with $300-400 jewelry, but there's no problem with Beyonce and dinner that could come out to be $750.
Even that close, for me, that would be investing a lot if I'm not that into a guy. I'm not going to expect him to take me out to the most expensive concert possible, et cetera, because you already know. It's like, I don't want him to be so invested, not just emotionally, but also financially, if I don't even know where I stand with this dude. And I say that from experience, and I can go back. It's not just something today, dating today. That is something that was also the same kind of situation when I was dating 30 plus years ago.
You know the dynamic of, I took you out to that nice meal and you're not even gonna?
Yes.
Right?
You
want to avoid that dynamic.
Exactly.
I'm going to guess this guy is relatively inexperienced dating, right? You know, he's the guy that shows up with the grand gesture on the first meeting, the piece of jewelry. Slow it down, buddy. The good news, though, she laughed it off. Clearly, she has her head on straight. She's not clearly after you for money or to take advantage of you in any way. So, hey, you know what? Shrug it off. Move on. That's it.
All right. Nick, what do you got, bro?
You know, I got to side with the lady on this one because love the gesture of the president remembering the birthday and all, but my man, you got to tone it down a level or 7. You want in mind a night out, maybe some drinks and dinner or that kind of shindig. $400 or $500 on a necklace after one meeting, that's a dead stop for her, my dude. But I get having those feels when you're young and everybody has a first.
Feels like the first time.
I don't know if you're going to have a second chance with her after that because it might scare her away, but maybe try and, come back and say, hey, I won't spend as much.
I do want to say, while I made my point about Beyonce in the concert, I do know that the symbolism of jewelry is going, no matter if you spent $100, $500 on it, just the symbolism alone is going to make things a little awkward, and it's going to make someone think that you are a stage 5 Klingon. So careful with that. Yeah, you can go spend money in other places, but just the jewelry, when you do that, that kind of puts you in a little bit of trouble.
Agree.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Ooh. All right, everybody. We got a lot of stuff to discuss and talk about. And agree to disagree, etiquette class will come up. We'll discuss that next. Gee Ursula.
The John Curley Show.
When I was shooting at a squirrel, I was like 10 years old. I traded out. It was a high-8 film that got confused with my mom and dad's high-8 films from Singapore. And it had a woman undressing, so it was like a nudie film. I didn't even think I was going to miss. And it went right past the squirrel. Yeah. And it hit my neighbor's a great big picture window. He got me dead to rights.
John Curley, weekdays 3 to 7 on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
G. Scott here with some special guests, former Seahawks Doug Baldwin and Cliff Averill. Guys, I've been hearing all about Nourishing Champions. Tell us more about it.
So we know the benefits for young people in sports, but we often don't think about the barriers to that access. And one of those barriers is having proper nutrition. And so Nourishing Champions, in partnership with Champions of Change and Safeway, is an effort to address those barriers so that our student athletes have what they need to excel both on the field and in the classroom.
You know, it's extremely important. You don't realize how many students actually are on reduced or even free lunch, and they don't have the opportunity to actually get a meal before practice, before a game. So being able to provide food for them, I think, is extremely important to give them the best opportunity to be able to be the best version of themselves.
And right now, high schools can apply for grants up to $25,000 from Nourishing Champions. Learn how at championsofchangefoundation.org. That's championsofchangefoundation.org.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Nearly everyone wants to grow old in their own home. Yet, according to research conducted by Stanford University, 70% of Americans will not achieve this goal, despite having done a lot of retirement planning. Now, why does this happen? Hi, I'm Rajiv Nagaich, an elder law attorney who's been studying this phenomena for the last 20 plus years. The problem isn't the planning that you do. The problem is what you haven't been told. That's why retirement becomes a nightmare. Now, if you're wondering what you haven't been told, come to one of my retirement seminars this month. I'll shine the spotlight in all the dark corners so you can retire with confidence.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Driving your brand new car is incredibly fun, but what about the buying process? We are Kia of Everett, and we believe that when you buy a car from us, it should be simple, easy, and fun. It's golf weather again. So May is Putt for Savings Month, and you're invited. Come take a test drive in your favorite new Kia, and if you love it, make a 10-foot putt to get up to $500 off the price. Because buying a car should be fun. Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
Some restrictions apply. Visit KiaofEverett.com for details.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. There is a new pope, and he's American.
Insane. I mean, this is such an incredible experience.
CBS's Nora O'Donnell.
A stunning moment here in Rome as Robert Francis Prevost has been elected the 267th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church, and he has taken the name Pope Leo XIV, becoming the first Pope ever from the United States.
He has just spoken to the huge crowd gathered in St. Peter's Square.
We need to be a synodal church, a church that's a pilgrim, that shows charity always, and especially is charitable to those who are suffering.
CBS's Seth Doan.
The Catholic Church really wanted to show unity behind a figure who could lead it, and people here in the crowd were certainly hoping to see the same. They said, we'll wait as long as it takes, but there's a lot of joy that it's happened so quickly.
Prevost, a missionary who spent his career ministering in Peru, led the Vatican's powerful Office of Bishops. In other news, the U.S. has struck a trade agreement with Britain. It is the first deal made so far in President Trump's tariff war. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says American farmers will be among those who benefit.
We've opened up new market access, ethanol, beef, machinery, all the agricultural products. They've agreed to open their markets, and that will add $5 billion of opportunity to American exporters.
The deal will reduce tariffs on British cars and steel, but a 10% baseline levy will remain. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
The UK Prime Minister said economic security is national security. The national security piece, the U.S. being such a big protector on the world stage, I think that was underscored and will likely play a little bit of a bargaining chip in future trade negotiations.
Ukraine's parliament has ratified the minerals deal with the U.S., and President Trump says he will speak with President Zelensky soon about the ceasefire.
I think we're making good progress. The fighting is a little bit different than it was. I think if we weren't involved, Russia would be, going at it to maybe get the whole thing. Without our involvement, they'd be able to get it.
On Wall Street at this hour, the Dow Jones Industrial's up 468 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The UW takes action after damaging student protests. That story coming up. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, I'm not seeing any significant blocking problems. Volumes are still a bit heavy, though. Travel times Everett to Seattle, 30 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 34. Renton to Bellevue, 32. All of those a few minutes longer than we typically see this time of day. Construction has you slow on State Route 18 from the Tiger Mountain Summit up to I-90. And Checkadat Drive in Skagit County will stay closed until July as crews work to remove debris from an April rock slide. Traffic brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. The University of Washington takes action after this week's damaging student protests. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibow reports.
Do not approach the police line.
Of more than 30 arrests made in Monday night's destructive protest at the University of Washington, 21 of them were students. They were suspended and banned from all UW campuses.
Violence is not ideal. I think they could have gotten a lot more done if they just occupied the building instead of starting fires.
UW students Odessa and Willa support the right to protest, but without the dumpster fires, shattered windows, and smashed equipment, which totaled up to $1 million in damages.
Tukwila police are searching for the person who opened fire at the South Center Mall just after 6 last night. Police say one person shot at another who was running away. They believe the two knew each other. No one injured and no arrests. Contract talks are expected today between the union that represents 150 workers who refuel aircraft at SeaTac and their company Swissport. Employees want better pay and working conditions, telling KIRO 7 TV they don't even have facilities to wash off jet fuel at the end of the day.
They don't stock toilet paper, hand towels, nothing.
Swissport says their contract offer is very competitive and that they have a contingency plan if workers strike. Governor Bob Ferguson signs a bill aimed at reining in rent hikes. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch explains.
The rent stabilization bill, as it is known, would cap rent increases at 7% plus inflation or 10%, whichever is lowest. Governor Bob Ferguson says housing affordability is top of mind for most Washingtonians.
I just heard that concern over and over and over again.
The bills also provide housing relief for veterans and the elderly and makes it easier to build more affordable housing. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Make it 9 consecutive series wins for the Mariners. They did it the hard way yesterday, clawing back from a 5-run deficit against the A's. Rowdy Tellez sparked the comeback in the 6th inning.
3-run home run, and the Mariners are right back in it.
Final score 6-5. The M's improved to 22-14 and head back home for a weekend series against the Toronto Blue Jays. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies with highs in the low 60s. It's 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. It is Thursday, May 8th on Third Base. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. Hey, coming up at 11:30, we're going to launch our very first official Gee and Ursula Show State of Washington citizenship test. And all of this is prompted by a question on Jeopardy! That all of you would know the answer. You would know the correct answer, but someone got it slightly off, and Ken Jennings said, nope, not acceptable. And it just made us think of, hey, how much do we really know of the state of Washington? So you'll be able to join us with that citizenship test. As always, we invite you to join our text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO.
Agree to disagree. Brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves and just really go at it.
The kids really need to take dining etiquette classes. Gee, as a parent, you get a lot of emails and notifications and newsletters, and I've been seeing this pop up more and more, offers for etiquette classes for little kids. The idea, to be honest, it strikes me as outdated and largely unnecessary, but I take it you probably have a different opinion.
Now more than ever, I think that some etiquette classes would and could be important. Hey, I was having fun with one of our bosses about 3 weeks ago, and I was talking about resumes, right? And some of you all have resumes, you've put out resumes, you try to go for that job, resumes and all those things. And sure, the resume might get you the interview, but the resume doesn't necessarily get you the job. And we are dealing with, especially now, our younger generation that has a lot of technology, which is great. AI, all of that's great. The thing is before that, before technology, we had to talk to people, we had to pick up the phone, we had to have conversations, we had to be in person. And so our communication skills were great. Your communication skills maybe at a big dinner, like, what do you do? Like, do you know which one the salad fork is? Do you know how much, do you eat all your food when you're done? What do you do with the silverware? Ursula, now more than ever, I think etiquette class would be great.
I think etiquette classes would be great for so many adults, actually, starting there. And then for our next generation. And then the next generation doesn't know etiquette because so many adults don't know it as well. And in these particular classes, they say they would cover not just dining etiquette, but social skills, business communication, all these different things to enhance manners and confidence. I just think a lot of people have done away with basic etiquette. And that starts adults. So do we need to actually take paid classes for that? I think, I'm sure a lot of stuff is on YouTube. I just think it's just practicing what you preach.
See, you brought up the salad fork, and that's where it sticks in my craw because a lot of
I will say
because a lot of traditional etiquette. Let's be real, it's classist, right? The only situations in which you would be required to, okay, I have to keep the napkin folded on my lap, I have to know which fork I'm going to use, etc. Those are social situations of the upper crust. Nobody in the middle class is going to judge you for eating your meal the wrong way if you don't have your napkin perfectly folded and your elbows touch the table at one point in the meal. Completely outdated, by the way. So look, teach your kids not to chew with their mouth open. Don't talk when other people are talking. Put your silverware back on the plate, when you're done eating to signify that you're done. But it's really basic. I don't think we need all of these rules that we grew up with.
There's one. I'm sorry, and I wanted to hear what you have to say, Gee, but there's one that just. I hate when people have elbows on the table.
Really?
That is just annoying.
Is that just because you got hammered for it when you were a kid?
Probably, but I do notice when people.
Is there any legitimate reason why it is rude?
Just like feet on the coffee table. Yeah, it's kind of rude.
Feet on the coffee table. Feet on the coffee table is a completely different level of comfort.
I'll admit I was a little technical with the salad fork. You're right. You're not going to get judged by using the wrong fork.
In some houses, you will.
Yeah. But I want to talk about the other part of it, about not like there are some things that some people get judged for and some people don't. And I'm not going to say his name, but my buddy of mine is an assistant principal, and he was going for a job. And when he was getting feedback, one of the things that was said to him was, well, during the interview process, you said too many times. Too many times during the interview process. So again, while I know people like to think that some people aren't judged on some things, some people are.
Yeah.
People are judged all the time. That is what everyone judges. So the idea that you aren't judged, it's just at what level. But when I think of etiquette, I don't just think of how you set your table or, by the way, have you ever had a waiter or waitress put the napkin on your lap when you go to a fancy restaurant? Because that's the first time I forgot. That's the first thing you do.
Seriously?
Yes.
That's so patronizing. I would never have my waiters do that.
That has happened. Not often, but the etiquette for me includes having people say, pardon me or excuse me instead of what? Just simple things like that. I think so much of that is lost.
Pardon me? Pardon me is like from 1942. Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?
Well, I didn't say it like that.
I know.
Have you, another thing that stands out, and by the way, I think I keep bringing up the table or out to eat or dealing with people is because this is the part where people lose a lot, right? Like, here's one example. Let's say you're all out with your coworkers, and it's your turn for the server to come to you. And when you get ready to order, while you're ordering, you're looking at your phone, or you don't make eye contact with the server at all. You don't say please or thank you at all. Yeah, there's somebody watching you. Some people can get away with that, and some people cannot.
Yeah, or the one person who gets their food first, and you just go to town on that sucker, and you end up looking like a barbarian.
Rochelle, winning. How about the basic idea of just looking people in the eyes when you talk? That would be a
I
big
know that was
start.
dining etiquette, but I mean, yeah, that's helpful. That's helpful.
Yeah,
all right. Sounds like a crazy idea, but I'm going to give it a spin. Should the government pay for housework? It's a real idea. It's been around for a long time. It's called wages for housework. The idea is that unpaid domestic labor, like cooking, cleaning, childcare, taking care of the older people, is really kind of the invisible engine that makes everything else in our society work. If someone's out working 9 to 5, that usually means someone else is at home keeping life running. And the founders of this movement kind of point out that when an employer hires someone, they benefit from the labor of two people, because it's the labor of the work that's there and then also the labor that happens at home. That's less and less today. But the person at home gets nothing. So, Ursula, there have been proposals for either child tax credits or some kind of a caregiver stipend or a universal basic income for people who stay at home and do the domestic labor. What do you think about that idea?
Well, I think the work that you do at home is truly priceless. And as cliche as that answer is, I don't think you can put a price on it. So what are some of the amounts that they're talking about in terms of compensating?
I mean, that's completely up for debate.
Yeah.
I mean, if we just looked at the expanded child tax credits, right, that was like, what, about $250 per child per month, something like that. I'd imagine like $250 to $750, somewhere in there.
I mean, I just don't think it's ever going to fly, but the idea of, hey, if this is work at home, I think it is worth something. I mean, I think it is worth a lot. Do I ever think it's going to get anywhere other than conversation? No. But I want to know once you answer the question, I want to know, what chore do you put the most premium on? What responsibility? I mean, obviously, taking care of the kids is number one. I mean, that is the priority. But what are the other things that, like, okay, I should be getting paid for this? But anyway, what do you think?
I think chores are. I think we look at chores. We're all subjective, and we look at them in different realms, different ways. The older that we get, maybe, or maybe when we were younger, we wanted to do more chores, or maybe we get older, we want to do less chores. I know for me, I look at chores like, hey, I need to do more of them. I try my best to do more of them. I'll admit, I'm in a house where where I'm not winning. I'm not winning with chores, so I just try to do a better job. But I just want to say that sweeping statement, that sometimes the fellas that have home taken care of a lot better are better workers outside of the home.
Yeah, there's no question the worst chore is laundry because it is absolutely endless. Right? We have a dishwasher. Putting away the dishes isn't that big of a deal. Laundry is endless. And when you have, I'm sorry, ladies, but your clothes are terrible to fold. They got like ruffles everywhere. They're in different shapes. Some of them have 2 layers or even 3. Like, you can't fold some of the stuff.
You know what's so funny? I was going to say that as you say you're winning, or you're not winning in the area of, because you say Lillian does more of the household chores. Mark definitely does more of the household chores, and he has made it possible for me to have the career that I have. I mean, no doubt about it. I do the laundry. That is one thing. And my trick on the laundry, so I would put a premium on I hate doing dishes. And thankfully, if I cook, the times I do cook, Mark is nice enough to do the cooking, the cleaning.
But do you clean up your dishes as you cook?
I try, but not necessarily. However, the laundry, I fold and take care of the laundry as soon as it is out of the dryer. Because what I have found is if you let them pile up, then you hate the laundry.
Oh my gosh, that is a fact. That is absolutely a fact. All right, let's move on here. If you're anything like me, you keep your eyes out on the street corners, especially in places like Seattle that have folks moving all the time. You might see nice lamps sitting there, maybe some bookshelves. And Axios brings up the question about whether Seattle's free piles, Ursula, are a gross environmental disaster or if it's an eco-friendly way to share things in this economy. What say you?
I want Gee to answer this first, actually.
I always roll my eyes when I see the free pile. And the reason why, you got to think that there's levels to it. So let's just take a couch, right? You're going to get rid of a couch. Which level are you ready to get rid of that couch? Is it, hey, I want to sell this to a coworker or a friend or a family member? Or the next level after that is, hey, I'll try to put this on Craigslist or something, sell it on Facebook or social media. Then the next one is maybe a buy nothing group. You want to like, hey, come and get this for free to buy nothing. Y'all want to know what the last level is? The last level is, hey, honey, help me bring this out to the curb right here, and we're going to just leave this couch here. And usually that couch or that mattress is going to have stains on it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm talking about it's levels to this. That is the nasty level. Yeah. That is the level of please get this out of my house. So every time I see that crap on the corner of someone's home, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't want that. As a matter of fact, our HOA don't even play that stuff. You better not ever put that stuff out there. And I'm telling you, I mean, you go by, and how in the world you got a mattress out there with a big old circle stain in the middle of the mattress talking about take this for free.
And it's, free, and it's missing a leg. It's not even usable. Yeah, so I think, Gee, you're 1,000% right. There are different levels. I love what you said about the Buy Nothing group. And one of the things that Buy Nothing groups do is that if someone puts some stuff out that is actually worthy, or someone notices that a neighbor, they'll flag it and say, corner of 43rd and blah, blah, there's something out there right now, take a picture, and people can actually get it and use it. And I think that's great. Great for everybody. But yeah, when it's this garbage that has nothing to do with your benevolence, but has everything to do with you wanting just to get rid of it and get it out of your house, that is selfish.
Somebody said last level is the dump. No, it's not. You got to pay.
At least you're
to
taking
get rid
you have
of
to
it.
pay to get rid of it.
And if you don't have a truck or something, you got to no. The last level is putting it out in the neighborhood and saying it with a free sign.
By the way, folks who deal with recycling and garbage, what happens to those couches? Because they disappear all the time in Seattle. I know people aren't taking them home, and if you were, that'd be nasty. But I said free piles, not illegal dumping. I think they're fantastic. It works really well. Like I see things disappear all the time.
I think there's a thin line there.
There's a thin line
between free piles and illegal dumping.
Yeah, and certain neighborhoods have different
line.
free piles.
Yeah.
I will say Julie B loves free piles. Yeah, if you have stuff that's actually usable, yes.
And by the way, speaking of, we talked about it today. The 10th richest zip code in the United States is Medina. Now, when's the last time Medina has had a free pile?
I'm going to guess never. But if they have one of those quote-unquote garage sales like they do in Mill Creek, which are amazing garage sales, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know about it.
Man, I keep meaning to go to garage sales, but I never have cash in my pocket. Like, I guess, never mind. All right, Gee, I got a question about voice messages. 62% of us have sent a voice message to another person, and 43% of us use it weekly at least. What's your opinion on the voice message? When you hit the record phone button on your phone and you send someone a voice recording instead of a text.
So I do it very rare, but at our fellowship breakfast that we had this past Sunday, what came up is how we have disagreements and with our significant others. Well, one of my buddies went on there and he says if he and his significant other are having some disagreements and everything, he sends voice memos. He never sends any text messages. It's always voice memos, and he keeps them in his phone, and he has the subject. And he says what the voice memo does is that way nothing is left for interpretation, left up for that way, and that way she gets exactly the message. So I would argue I need to actually increase voice message because nothing gets lost. It was said right to you.
I think that is a great argument for voice messages.
30% of us. Okay, go ahead.
I was going to just say, because I think with text, there is so much room for interpretation, and you might assume that someone is really hacked off at you when they're really not, or someone's being snarky when they're really not. You know what I'm saying?
No, I have no idea. Not at all.
I think it would be better to hear the voice, and then you can hear it for yourself, which there would still be some room for interpretation, but I think there would be less chance of you misinterpreting.
We were all at the table, everybody was like, we got to do that.
That's the first good use I've ever heard. Because they're awful.
Because you can't, like Ursula just said, the tone is there. So because sometimes we read text messages in a tone that we assume.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know why we got rid of voicemail though and replaced it with this, and people think it's not the same thing.
I'm not leaving a voicemail.
See, I'm not leaving a voice message unless I'm getting into it with Gabby these days.
I still do leave voice messages. Hi.
Hey, coming up next. So sometimes there are opportunities where people get a chance to take a citizenship test, right? Well, there was something that happened on Jeopardy. Someone pronounced something here in this state a certain way. Ken Jennings wasn't having it. So we're going to talk about that and talk about what if there was a test you had to take to be a resident of Washington? What would be on the test? Well, that's coming up next. Gee Ursula.
This hour
Hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
White smoke above the Sistine Chapel.
History is happening.
Habemus Papam. We have a pope.
The first American pope to lead the Roman Catholic Church.
Local coverage of the biggest stories at home and around the world.
Cardinal Robert Prevost of Chicago. He is taking the name of Pope Leo XIV.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the KIRO News Radio app, and read the latest at mynorthwest.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Nearly everyone wants to grow old in their own home. Yet, according to research conducted by Stanford University, 70% of Americans will not achieve this goal, despite having done a lot of retirement planning. Now, why does this happen? Hi. I'm Rajiv Nagaich, an elder law attorney who's been studying this phenomena for the last 20 plus years. The problem isn't the planning that you do. The problem is what you haven't been told. That's why retirement becomes a nightmare. Now, if you're wondering what you haven't been told, come to one of my retirement seminars this month. I'll shine the spotlight in all the dark corners so you can retire with confidence.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454.
Hey, it's me, the foul pole at T-Mobile Park. But it's about time they call me the fair pole, because those are the moments I live for. When Cal's up to the plate, I'm always on high alert.
The big dumper with a two-run blast.
And then there's Randy Arozarena, launching missiles into the stands, flipping his bat so high it practically reaches my eye level.
Blasted back, Randy Arozarena strikes again.
And J-Rod, heck, when he connects, he makes the whole building shake.
And it's gone. Goodbye, baseball. Julio Rodriguez.
So come on down and take a seat beside me. You might even go home with a souvenir. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Don't miss the Mariners Mother's Day weekend 3-game series starting tomorrow, including a clear purse giveaway on Mother's Day for the first 10,000 moms, thanks to Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Then the action continues with a showdown against the Yankees Monday through Wednesday. Grab your tickets at mariners.com.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See for full details and disclaimer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Spike O'Neill for Sharp Vision, Modern LASIK and Lens. And let me tell you, everything is my eyes. Everything. The vision is everything in your life. But when your eyes start to go, it affects everything you do. And I had lost quality of vision over the years, began to need readers, began to lose readers faster than I could buy them. I knew it was time to get my eyes looked at. So I went to the offices over in Bellevue, Sharp Vision, Modern LASIK and Lens. They gave me a comprehensive eye exam, told me exactly what my situation was, the beginning of cataract in my eye, and I was a perfect candidate for RLE, refractive lens exchange. They answered all my questions. I had the same care team from the start of my simple procedure in half an afternoon, and I was cared for. My anxieties were eased. The procedure went smooth as glass, and I got to tell you, I've got better eyes than I've ever had in my life. I've got 20/10 vision. I see brighter colors. I see sharper images, and I will never need readers, and I will never develop cataract. They are the future of RLE surgeries. Over 80,000 successful lens replacement surgeries. Give them a call at 425-451-2020. That's 425-451-2020, or online at sharp-vision.com, sharp with an e-vision.com, official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
Why choose Care Partners Senior Living over in-home care? Amanda here. Care Partners communities are safer than your home, provide more socialization, and may be more affordable than in-home care. Find a Care Partners community in Washington or Arizona at carepartnersliving.com.
If you want a dream bathroom without a humongous price tag, now's the time to call Bathfitter Northwest. Ursula Reutin here. I picked Bathfitter because they are the original one-day bath remodeler. They're a local, family-owned business that's been around for 40 years. They own every step in the process to make sure you get the best quality product and the best value. Right now, get 0% interest for 24 months, and for a limited time, they'll pay your sales tax. Why would you choose anyone else? Call Bathfitter today.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Chicago-born Cardinal Robert Prevost becomes the first U.S. Pope in the history of the Catholic Church. He's chosen the name Leo XIV and says through a translator here,
Dio vi ama tutti.
God loves everyone.
E il male non prevarrà.
Monsignor Anthony Figueredo.
In many ways, I think we're going to say this was the perfect choice. We have a pope who has lived in South America, knows the United States of America.
Like his predecessor, Pope Francis, he's seen as a progressive on many social issues, but conservative on church doctrine, including limits on women's roles in the church. The Archdiocese of Seattle releasing a statement, "This is a very exciting and blessed day for the Catholic Church." President Trump posting on social media that he looks forward to meeting Pope Leo. Today, Trump announced a U.S. trade deal with the United Kingdom.
The deal includes billions of dollars of increased market access for American exports, especially in agriculture.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer says both countries will benefit. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman today testifying before a Senate committee, and he sees a big role for artificial intelligence in the future.
I believe this will be at least as big as the internet, maybe bigger. That needs to happen. For that to happen, investment in infrastructure is critical.
Washington U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell serves as a ranking member of the Senate Committee of Commerce, Science, and Transportation.
Let's allow these people to do what they do best, and let's make sure the United States has the right policies in place so that our open AI standard wins the day.
Microsoft President Brad Smith says whichever country's technology is most broadly adopted around the world, the U.S. or China will win the AI race. Microsoft co-founder and philanthropist Bill Gates says he will give away virtually all of his wealth over the next 20 years before shutting down his foundation, a charity that focuses on world health.
I'm super excited that that'll be over $200 billion that we'll give away during that time period, and that we'll be able to save tens of millions of lives.
The money will help fight preventable diseases. Federal funding for many health, foreign aid, and public assistance programs has been cut. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 543 points, NASDAQ ahead 326. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, I'm not seeing any significant blocking problems. Your volume's just a bit heavy still. Travel times Everett to Seattle 30 minutes, Federal Way to Seattle 34, Renton to Bellevue 32. That's all a few minutes longer than usual. Construction has you slow on State Route 18 from the Tiger Mountain Summit to I-90. And Chuckanut Drive in Skagit County is going to stay closed until July as crews continue to remove debris from an April rock slide. Traffic brought to you by ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women, offered by New Skin Med Spa in Bellevue. proscope.com. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the low 60s. It's 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday to all of you. Text us at 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. Text us the answers because we're going to do a test here and we want you to be part of it. So what do you really need to know to consider yourself to be a local here in the Pacific Northwest? Last night on Jeopardy, someone who clearly isn't from here got schooled by Ken Jennings. He is from this area.
The 1960s plan to replace this Seattle market with high-rises had succeeded. There might be no Starbucks today. Dan.
What is Pike's Place Market?
No. Sarah or Michelle? Sorry, Dan. We are sticklers in Seattle. It's Pike Place, no S. Back to you, Michelle.
Wow, he was not being... What's that?
For the record, I just want you all to know it was the Gee and Ursula Show, and you listeners, I think it was 2022 when I found out that there was no S on Pike's Place. So
Serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
On Pike Place.
Yeah. I was calling it
Yes.
And wait a minute, I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. Because that habit was for, you have a bad habit, I was doing it. And I sometimes still do it.
Look at that. Okay. Okay, so we thought we would have our first official Gee and Ursula Show State of Washington citizenship test. And we've invited 2 transplants.
I'm here.
Paul Holden and Aaron Granillo. Aaron!
I don't know if I'm a transplant.
I know, because I know, that's what I told Chef. I was like, he's kind of from here, but he's left.
I grew up in Seattle.
Okay, so we're going to see.
I took a 13-year hiatus. How about that?
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so... Chef has put together some questions. Gee, you're kind of a transplant too, but you've been here a long time.
Yeah, I got my own.
Okay.
I think I'm sure Gee has as well.
Yeah, I got my own.
Okay, so Chef, go ahead.
All right,
start.
yeah. You want to start off with let's start off with some easy ones for Paul, maybe. Okay. We'll go with the beer category on this one. So, which 2 local beers made in Washington were nationally known before microbrews were a thing?
What's the
Aaron? You can jump in anytime.
Sky Dust. I can't. I'm gonna go Red Hook.
I said before microbrews were a thing.
Okay. Oh, before microbrews.
Yes.
So
is it Rainier? Is Rainier?
Yeah, Rainier's one.
I love me some vitamin R.
Hey, you know another one.
Nice.
Vitamin R.
Okay. I was gonna. I guess you said the only one I'm thinking the one that does the space dust.
That's
IPA.
Elysian.
Elysian. But that's microbrews.
That feels
right?
All right, I'll help you guys out. It would be Olympia. And Aaron, I'm sure you remember the slogan. It's in the water. It was made in Tumwater, Washington.
Oh God.
That was one of the OGs. Before Red Hook was like the first good quote unquote good beer.
Right.
And it was considered a microbrew before it was bought out.
Ay. That was supposed to be an easy question. We're starting easy.
Beer.
Okay, I'm going to go with G. G, I want you to answer this. This is the first on the list here. Which brand of cheddar cheese is Pacific Northwest made and loved?
Beechers?
That's a good guess.
See, that is a good one.
I think I know.
I think I know it too.
That is a good
Should
one.
we say it at the same time, Paul?
Yeah.
Yes.
1, 2.
Tillamook?
Yeah.
You got it. Okay. All right.
I mean, first of all, cheese is my wheelhouse. This was my way of shouting out Beechers. I actually know my man that owns Beechers, so I wanted to shout him out. But yeah, y'all know I'm a cheese.
Yes,
I
exactly,
eat
which is why I
cheese.
wanted to go to cheese. So that was really good. Okay, but here's another one. One of our state universities makes an even better cheese. What is the name of that cheese?
Cougar Gold.
There you go.
You know,
Okay.
I heard that the guy.
I'm a cheese connoisseur.
I heard the guy who made Beecher's cheese went through that program that makes Cougar Gold. They taste very similar, Cougar Gold and Beecher's.
Oh,
I've never heard of Cougar Gold.
Really?
If you
Okay, I know, but you're still you're
I'm still learning.
transplant.
I'm still
You're
learning.
okay.
Yeah.
For the bonus, Aaron, though, what kind of packaging does Cougar Gold come in?
Like a tin can.
Yes, a tin can.
Interesting.
Like a 2-pound tin can.
Yeah.
Okay, here's some of my questions.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
so check it out real quick. This isn't hard. This is simple. For the 2 of you, if it rains, do you carry an umbrella?
No.
Okay, you're good.
Raincoat with just a hood.
Raincoat? Yeah, you got to go with the raincoat, absolutely.
If I see you walking around with an umbrella, you will lose your Washington card.
Okay. What about How do you pronounce the city where Brock Heward and the whole Heward family had?
I say Puyallup.
Puyallup?
Okay.
Puyallup?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Do the Puyallup.
Okay, how about this one? This is from a listener. What year did the Kingdome implode?
Oh, that was like 20-something years. Oh, well, so now T-Mobile Park opened in 2001. So it would have been like 99?
2000.
Okay.
Close,
All right.
close.
No idea.
I couldn't even get that one.
No clue.
Salmon. Pronounce that.
Salmon.
Salmon. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
I got some partners back in the Midwest. Hey, G, you know how to make salmon?
Are you serious?
Okay.
Yeah.
What about this one? What do locals say when Mount Rainier is clearly visible?
Mountains out.
Chef.
Okay, Paul, if somebody takes you to a coffee stand called Cowgirls Espresso or Ladybug Cafe, what can you expect to see or not?
Those are the bikini barista stations, right?
Yeah, it started right here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, definitely only here. I don't see it.
How do you know that within such a short time frame?
I'm working here.
Okay.
Sure.
Mines are easy.
Okay.
Do you have a pho order?
Ooh, I don't.
Oh, you...
Yeah, it's usually just the first option, just beef. I mean, just like the super thin.
More of a
beef.
ramen guy.
Are you throwing in the tripe and all that?
Super,
I don't do
You're
tripe.
talking about top round, right?
Yeah,
the top
exactly.
round,
Yes.
not the brisket. Yep,
Correct,
okay.
yes. Top round, thin.
Okay. As long as we're talking about food, we're going to go around on this one. The Seattle dog and the Seattle roll always contain what ingredient?
Cream cheese.
Cream cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Seattle dog is
Seattle thing?
great.
Okay.
I'm a big fan.
All right, here we go. Can you parallel park?
Yes.
A lot better now that I have a backup camera.
Now, if you can't parallel park, that's a prerequisite of living
Okay.
here.
We got more. We got more. What was Galloping Gertie?
Oh, shoot. I can't answer that.
No
I know
idea.
I've heard it, but
Famous pro wrestler.
Okay, famous pro wrestler.
No.
That sounds like it. That'd be a great. The Galloping Gertie.
A bridge.
The Tacoma Narrows Bridge that collapsed famously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know this one, G?
What's that?
What year were the Sonics sold? This is another listener question.
Yeah, 2000 the last game was 2008. So it probably was sold in 2007.
2006.
Oh, they sold in 6? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If I say those shoes are hella filthy, what does that mean?
I'm assuming if it's West Coast, we're going good thing.
Yeah,
Those
they're super nice.
They look cool.
Those
They
are
look nice.
fly.
Yeah, they're cool looking shoes.
All right. Hey, these
Last one for Paul here. Paul, if someone asks you if you've taken a ride on the slut, what are they talking about?
South Lake Union Transit.
Trolley, super close. Dude, you're doing great.
I'll take it. Okay.
And where is the posse located?
On Broadway.
No idea what that is.
All right. Good stuff.
How do y'all do? Those of you listening along.
I think these guys did great.
Yeah, they did amazing.
I'm a big Tillamook fan, by the way.
Yes.
I've been to
Oh,
the
yeah.
factory a couple of times. No, I'm one of my
Extra
favorite
sharp.
places.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing I couldn't do is the beer. I don't mess with none of that beer stuff. Hey, appreciate you guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's words to live by. Gee Ursula.
White smoke above the Sistine Chapel.
History is happening.
Habemus Papam.
We have a pope.
The first American pope to lead the Roman Catholic Church.
Local coverage of the biggest stories at home and around the world.
Cardinal Robert Prevost of Chicago. He is taking the name of Pope Leo XIV.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the KIRO News Radio app, and read the latest at mynorthwest.com.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Hartley Wilcox here from Wilcox Family Farms. It's been fun meeting people at our recent egg demo events. I'm often asked, what do the hens eat? Well, Wilcox hens eat natural greens, seeds, and grass. They forage for worms and bugs, and their diet is free from pesticides and fertilizers. For fresh local eggs, look for Wilcox eggs at Safeway, Town & Country Markets, or Amazon Fresh. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Hi, my name is Rajiv Nagaich. Ever since I became an elder law attorney more than 20 years ago, I've helped thousands of people in the Seattle area retire with more confidence about their future. I'd like to invite you to one of my retirement planning seminars this month. Learn how to protect your estate from long-term care costs. Live out your years where you choose, even if you get sick, without becoming a burden on people you love the most. Learn how to use the Safe Harbor Trust to protect your estate from threats most people overlook. Come to the seminar and I'll show you how it's done.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454. 253-838-3454.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
High schools committed to improving their students' health and performance are invited to apply for Nourishing Champions grants, up to $20,000 made possible by Champions of Change and Safeway. Visit championsofchangefoundation.org/nourishingchampions.
If you're thinking about renovating an attic, spending more time in your sunroom, or building onto your home, a Carrier ductless unit is the perfect solution for climate control. It's efficient, quiet, and incredibly flexible when it comes to installation because there's no ductwork required. It's just one more way we're making your home totally comfortable.
Your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer will improve your home's comfort, air quality, and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find the expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Good morning, everybody. Gee and Ursula, happy Thursday to all of you. It's now time for the good old text messages. Ursula?
The speeding and the reckless driving crackdown in Bellevue. Tony in Buckley says, I get buzzed by motorcycles at over 100 miles per hour at least twice a week, so it is happening all the time.
Rick in Briar says, thank goodness they're starting to crack down on their crazy drivers. Sometimes these kids will ride the left turn lane up to the light, then jump over into the through lane as they are going through the intersection.
On the rental increase caps that governor is signing, Cindy in Seattle says, over the last 5 years, Seattle and King County have enacted dozens of new ordinances that, taken together, significantly increase the risk to the small housing provider while increasing their costs. This rent control ordinance is the last straw, and the result will be an ongoing departure of rental housing as housing providers sell and leave the market. These homes typically become owner-occupied rather than continuing as rentals. How do we know this? According to the latest data from Seattle's rental registration and inspection program, Seattle has had a net loss of 3,050 properties and about 9,800 units since May of 2021. And during that time, just 27 rental units were added to the market. I imagine we would see the same loss of rental units countywide.
425 says, for your information, lease agreements are beginning to include clauses to ban tenants from participating in class action lawsuits. This is clearly a reaction by corporate landlords to the Real Page lawsuit. These clauses need to be banned as they greatly disadvantage tenants from holding corporations accountable for wrongdoing.
But then there's Donna who says, I moved into an apartment in 2021. Rent was $1,050. The next year went up to $1,165. Next year went up to $1,335. Next year went up to $1,475. I moved, but I heard from a former neighbor that their rent went up over 20% this year. So in 3 years, $415 more, or about 35% more. At 7% a year, it would have been, I think essentially she's saying it would have been a lot more affordable.
We had a conversation about voice messaging. James from Fife says, my wife has recently started doing voice messaging to communicate, and it drives me nuts. At that point, just make a phone call and get the conversation over with faster.
Okay, the voicemails, those messages aren't supposed to be long. They aren't supposed to be like minutes long. On the free pile conversation, Allegra and Lacey says, I used to think used mattresses were gross until I was reminded that hotel mattresses are used.
Allegra.
You travel a lot, right, G?
Why do you make so much sense, Allegra? Jeez. Great point. There's a new pope. Grandpa Mike says, got a poll going yet on how fast Donald Trump claims credit for the American Pope. We actually had 7 listeners write in the exact same thing.
On $1 Million Mansions, Collins in Seattle says, you're buying the dirt, not the digs.
Bill in Crosby, near Seabeck, says, I am low income on $11.50 a month, Social Security. I'm living on my paid off 5 acres on a beautiful lazy river or creek, salmon stream called Big Beef. And whenever they leaves are out, it's a paradise and it makes me feel rich.
Kevin in Granite Falls says, I bought a 1,400 square foot home in Granite Falls in 2018 for $340,000. Now it is worth $745,000.
Rob in Puyallup says, bought my home in Puyallup 7 years ago for $370,000. I was able to refi during COVID and am sitting on a sub 5% interest. My home is currently worth $570,000. I can't afford to sell anytime soon.
So what luxury feature would you put in your home if you could, if money were no object? 253 said Japanese bidet toilets in every bathroom. I'm with you there, 253.
All right, Ursula, it's time for your words to live by.
And this is a quote from Bruce Lee, and it's always a great reminder. Knowledge will give you power, but it's character that brings you respect.
good stuff. Nick, what do you got?
Well, a stir-up at the Vatican whipped heads around with rope, where some smoke started the party and it ended with a pope. But not any pope you may have seen before in recent past. This one comes from our own backyard in the far Midwestern cast. And he probably relates more with the food you've tried before, like some mac and cheese at Beecher's or that Tillamook in the drawer. But if you're from Chicago, he's probably had all of those eats over there.
Man, when I started, Nick, I didn't know what song it was. I've heard this song. Who sings this?
It was David Bowie back in the day, 70s and 80s.
I like this song. All right, good stuff. We're going to do this again tomorrow. Thank you, Ursula. Thank you, Chef. Nick, appreciate you.
You too.
Hey, coming up next, the Jake and Spike Show. They're coming in next. Make sure you stick around. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
White smoke above the Sistine Chapel.
History is happening.
Habemus Papam.
We have a pope.
The first American pope to lead the Roman Catholic Church.
Local coverage of the biggest stories at home and around the world.
Cardinal Robert Prevost of Chicago. He is taking the name of Pope Leo XIV.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the KIRO News Radio app, and read the latest at mynorthwest.com. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Driving your brand new car is incredibly fun, but what about the buying process? We are Kia of Everett, and we believe that when you buy a car from us, it should be simple, easy, and fun. It's golf weather again. So May is Putt for Savings Month, and you're invited. Come take a test drive in your favorite new Kia, and if you love it, make a 10-foot putt to get up to $500 off the price. Because buying a car should be fun. Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
Some restrictions apply. Visit KiaofEverett.com for details.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See you with the full details and disclaimer.
Gee and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
I love delivery.
How so?
Nearly anything delivered to me. Just a click or call away.
Something, same day.
Right.
Everything you want.
Well, not quite everything.
Oh?
If only I could have more hot water delivered.
Running short?
My water heater.
Getting old?
Guess so.
Good.